Good afternoon, everyone, and a very Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We hope you had a cracking day watching, Christmas films, watching the family and watching the kids playing with all the toys, etc. But it's back. The Premier League is back, and it starts right now. Well, it actually started at Brentford with a 2-2 draw against Spurs. Spurs coming back from 2-0 down in that game. But we are up and running from today. And the big news for Newcastle United is that, of course, Callum Wilson is not available in the squad. Not sure what's going on there. I haven't heard anything as to what the problem is with Callum Wilson. As far as everybody knew, Callum was fit and raring to go, but he will not be taking part in this game today, which is a bit of a shame because we are left with Chris Wood up front, which is, I don't care what anybody says. It just doesn't fill me with confidence, but you never know. He might bag a hat-trick today. Yeah. Anyway, Newcastle United line up like this. We've got Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier, captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Longstaff, and Willock, and a front three of Almiron, Joe Linton, and Chris Wood, which means, of course, Alain Saint-Maximin is on the bench. And included on the bench are Carl Darlow, Jamal Lascelles, obviously ASM. We've got Richie, Target, Mankio, Fraser, Murphy, and Elliot Anderson on the bench. So Callum Wilson is nowhere near the squad today. And if anyone knows why, please let me know. Obviously, he's injured, but that's not great news. As for Leicester City, well, they haven't uploaded on my system yet, so I do apologise for that. That was Bournemouth, who were not playing today. Here we go. The Leicester side is this. Ward, Castagnier, Amate, Faze, Thomas, Dewsbury Hall, Sumare, Tielemans, Dennis Pratt, Harvey Barnes, and Dakar. Substitutes are Everson, Sionchu, Westergaard, Mendy, Ndidi, Albrighton, Perez, Iheanacho, and Vardy. So that means no James Maddison for Leicester either. Apparently, he is out with a knee injury, but it's as we expected. No James Maddison. Of course, we've seen things like him being in Dubai and at the darts at the weekend. So there's no way he's playing. We said this all week, and obviously Leicester have said he's out with a knee injury, but time will tell whether it is actually a knee injury or whether it's because of a move to Newcastle United. Anyway, here we go. We'll go into some comments. Jock can't wait for this game. Callum is asking where Callum is. I don't know, is the honest truth to that. Hope Wilson isn't injured again. Well, he obviously is injured today, but for how long, we are unaware. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. But again, we'll just wait and see on that one. Afternoon, Tom. I hope everyone's having a good Christmas. No Wilson this afternoon, so we're simply having a wonderful Chris Wood time this afternoon. Geordie 2 for Life says we have to buy a centre forward this window if we want European football next season, even if Wood scores today or not. Wilson is a great centre forward, but we simply can't rely on him. Yeah, again, it's a real pain in the ass. Afternoon, George. Hope you had a lovely Christmas, mate. Trolls, good afternoon. Rachel, happy Boxing Day, everyone. Please remember the usual rules, of course. No caps, duplicates, and no spoilers, please. I mean, it is on Amazon, so we'll probably all be watching it on there. So even if you're a few seconds ahead of each other, no spoilers until I've commentated on it, please. Jimmy Jones, thank you for an $8.99 super chat, our resident hammer. Good luck today and Happy New Year to all and to you, Jimmy. Welcome back to the channel, my friend. Everyone's saying hello. Troll says we need a striker, so Wood doesn't play. We're hearing that Shelby's out 6 to 8 weeks as well. Yes, I was coming on to that, Mike. It isn't great news either. So, we're struggling a little bit, guys. I have to say we're struggling a little bit right now with players and everything. So it's not great. It's really not. That has to be improved on. And of course, with the January window coming up, hopefully that will be the case. But at the moment, we are struggling. Spacebar says, good afternoon, folks. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Jock says, Miggy hopefully steps up today and grabs a couple. Absolutely. That's certainly what we'll be looking for. But, you know, let's be honest. Anyone looking at that Leicester City side, I don't think they'll be really scared by it. Is anybody scared by that Leicester side? The way we've been playing, they've got some good players on the bench as well. Don't get me wrong of Leicester, but I'm not really that worried about it. What's the situation with Wilson and Shelby out again? Yeah, unfortunately. I'm sure Eddie will go into more detail either before or after the game in his interview. But it is really a pain in the arse. It is. MGK says, yeah, very tough game ahead today. I would be more than happy with a draw, to be honest, as I have a feeling we won't be on it today. Thoughts? Never say that, MGK. I've never really, if it was last season or whatever. But what we've learned under Eddie Howe is to never write our team off and never say, we'll take a draw, because we don't play for a draw. We never do. We always go for a win. And, whatever you think of that side, we can still get at Leicester City. And I think it'll be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. It'll be a very tough game. But I expect Newcastle United to come out and press Leicester. And obviously with ASM on the bench, we Elliot Anderson, etc. We do have options on the bench to come on and change the game. Stephen says, feels good to be back for Premier League action. It does indeed. Julie J says, afternoon all. Godfather, afternoon Paul. Hope everyone is enjoying Christmas. MJK says, just happy Miggy and Bruno are starting. Yep, let's not forget the players who were actually on the pitch as well. Yes, we've got injuries and that's a pain in the arse, but we can't forget who we've also got on the pitch. Miggy has had a wonderful season. Chris Wood is what he is. Bruno's had a good season. Willock's had a good season. Joe Litton's playing well. We've got options there to score goals. Let's not forget that. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas, says Julie. Jamie Max is 3 points for Christmas. Would be lovely, my friend. Would be lovely. Eddie in Japan. Keep it going, lads. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is over there, Eddie. Glad you've joined us. Ronald, good afternoon to you. Where's the score going to be then today? Well, what's the score? Well, look, it's tough. I'm going 3-1 Newcastle, or 3. I can't remember what I said in the preview show, to be honest, but whatever I did say, I wouldn't take my predictions as gospel anyway. I have a terrible record. Chris Wood starts. No, unless we get a penalty. Yep, absolutely. Hopefully we will. Wilson injured. Yep, by the looks of things, well, he has to be because he's not in the squad at all. Eddie has never won a Boxing Day match. Let's change that today. Yep, that's a tactic I didn't want to know, but there we go. Ian says, afternoon, Paul and mods. Hope everyone's having a nice Christmas. We are indeed. Don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy today's stream, to make sure you hit that like button, because it does help with the algorithm of YouTube and put us higher up the search results. And also, if you're new to the channel, like what you see, please do become part of the community by hitting that subscribe button. Free to do so. And also the notification bell, which will also let you know when we go live or we upload any videos onto the channel. And as usual, you can donate to the channel if you so wish by hitting that $sign just underneath the live comments, and that will take you through to a payment method, as our great friend Jimmy Jones has already done today. So thank you in advance for that. Wilson is ill, apparently. So there you go. That puts everybody's mind at rest. He's ill. He's not injured, which is a little disappointing. Of course, he did have an illness before the World Cup as well, didn't he? Eddie has also lost every away game to Brendan Rodgers. Well, aren't we a fun bunch of people with the stats today? Let's just hope that ends. How are the lads? Can't believe Wilson is out. Hope Wilson hasn't got that virus going around. It's bloody awful. Well, it looks like he has. There's a lot going around, guys. Illnesses, etc. Hits every household. My household is coughing and spluttering all over the place. It's awful. We want the sunshine. Simple as that. Geordie Toon for Life says, no Madison, not even on the bench. So it evens itself out with Wilson missing with an illness. Yeah, I guess so. Ryan, good afternoon. Hope everyone was treated well by Santa yesterday. Yes, he was very well treated. People just saying that he's injured. Roger's just saying that Maddison has an injury with his knee. Yeah. Interesting, that, isn't it? Because, well, there was nothing wrong with him at the World Cup, or so we were told. So where's this knee problem come from? We thought that if he wasn't playing, there might be some kind of injury creep up from somewhere, and it looks like it's done that today. Good afternoon, Gareth. Hope you're well. Still third at the end of this game, no matter what. Indeed, we are. But let's pull away in third. Jamie Max says, what's wrong with Wilson? He's ill. Shelby has an injury, though. He's expected to be out a few weeks. Stu says, season of greetings to all the Toon Review family. Hi, Paul. Hope you're well, Stu. Good result with Spurs, and indeed 2-2, but it could have been even better. Of course, Brentford 2-0 up in that game, and Spurs fought back to get a point, but they're having to work very, very hard to scrape points at Tottenham at the minute. You look at the last few days, and they've always had to come back from being behind, and that will take its toll come the end of the season. Wilson has got morning sickness. Morning sickness? What the hell's that? He's not pregnant. Toon Black White Army says AK. Oh my God, Wood is up front. Yeah, he is. Solo says no Maddison in their squad, coming to us early January. Wilson has an illness. Physics says love your content. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, my friend. Chris says afternoon, all the best. Hello, Paul, mods, chatters, Toon. Mike says, come on, I'm buzzing for this 2-1 win for the boys. Willock and Botman to score the goals. Indeed. Good afternoon, David. Shelby has a calf injury. Yep. Hope Roy's mate delivers, says Godfather. Well, we'll have to see. Trolls is saying Wood's going to get a hat-trick. Dream on, my friend. Shelby calf, Wilson ill. Yep, that's confirmed now. Many people saying in the chat now that Eddie Howe has confirmed that it is an illness with Callum Wilson. So, it's still a pain in the arse not having Callum Wilson available, whether it be through illness or injury. And yes, it's an illness, which means he will recover. He won't be out very long, and should be available for the Leeds game, but it's still a right pain in the arse. Paul says, good evening from the Philippines. Will be a close game, 2-1 to the Toon with Almiron and Bruno. Eddie saying Wilson. Yep, we know. Ryan says, before I forget, everyone, please do not ask for stream links from Paul or other services in the chat. It's against the YouTube terms of service, other than how are the lads. Yes, it is. We don't give out links, so please don't ask for any. However, I think it's broadly known that this game is on Amazon Prime. So if you want to watch it on Amazon Prime and listen to my commentary. There is a feature on Amazon Prime where you can just turn the commentary off and listen to the stadium, to the crowd. So do that and listen to my commentary. Best way to go on the Toon Review. Shelby out with occurrence of the calf problem. It seems that way, which is bad, man. It's bad. Gareth says, all faith in the team, just need some powerful forwards in the new season. Big right-handed said before the World Cup on the Magpie channel that Maddison would be injured for this game. Maybe should have put a bet on. Yeah, I don't think you would have got much, because I think there's, to be honest, there would be a lot of bookies probably going the same way, my friend, and thinking, yeah, what's the odds on that happening? Let's just make sure that it remains as it is. It is, yeah. I didn't think he'd play. Edward, thank you for your 200 yen, my friend. Just get the result. Come on, lads. TTR is great. Thank you very much to you, Edward. I am from Davao City in the Philippines. Geordie Toon for life. We have to buy more forward players. Not much on the bench attacking-wise. Wilson definitely out with an illness. Thank you very much. Happy Boxing Day, says George Eaton. KSA man says, I can't believe how Wilson just gets illness every time. Well, it's not every time. I mean, illnesses happen, and we know that there's a lot of bugs going around wherever you live right now. It's rancid. You get the conspiracy theorists saying, the COVID jab has made people more vulnerable to picking up, all sorts of illnesses. But my God, it seems like it's never ending in my house, and probably the same as what it's like in many other households. Just people not very well at all. over the winter days. KB says, very happy Boxing Day, Paul. Hope you're good. Self and Susan and kids enjoyed Christmas. We did. Thank you very much. Back to football today. Absolutely. Matt says, surprised Maxi starts on the bench. I'm not, to be honest. He did not look 100% fit when he came on against Bournemouth. And me and Alex, saw that for ourselves on Tuesday night at the game. He didn't really look 100% at all. He made some good runs. He did change the game without a doubt. He gave us that extra impetus to go and attack. But unfortunately, he didn't look 100%, and I'm not surprised he's on the bench. But, at least we have him on the bench, and he can always do that. He can always come on and just give us that spark in the second half. Miggy has been a paille for you this season. I would say so, yeah. Robert says, good afternoon, Paul, from Malta. No Wilson, no Shelvey. No, Shelvey's injured. Wilson is ill. Gladys, looking forward to the January window. We need reinforcements. Yeah, I think if anything, states that we do need reinforcements, it's today, isn't it? I mean, you just never know when players are going to go down with illnesses, injuries. You just need that extra bit of strength in the squad. And I think that's what hopefully Eddie and the gang will be looking for during January, is to bring in those reinforcements, because we do need them without a shadow of a doubt. Come on, Newcastle, says Paul Taylor. KSA says ASM should start over Wood. He's not fit, man. He's not fit. He's not fit enough to start the game. That's for certain. Poolie Mag says, really glad proper footy is back. Absolutely. David says he is allegedly unwell. If Wilson was not so fragile, Wood would probably still be at Burnley, quite capable of getting 3 points. Yeah, look, the team we got out is quite capable of winning today. I'm under no illusion about that. I think, many times in the past, we've written the lads off this season before balls even kicked. Think, what sort of team's that? And we've gone out and destroyed the opposition, which we will do today. Fingers crossed we will. I don't rate that Leicester side at all. I think we can really get at them. And as long as we keep Daka out of the game, which I'm sure, Fabian Scher and Botman will do that. I think probably the more important thing today is to get something out of the game, not lose. But we know how Eddie plays his football. Eddie plays his football to win games, not draw, not lose. We go out to win. So we just have to continue that impetus moving forward. And we'll be fine, I think. Jock says, Shelvey is a calf injury he got in training. Kian says, how did you get on with wrapping all them presents, Paul? I got it done eventually. You know what it is? I complain every year, but, I always get it done in the end. And that's the main thing. It amazes me, though, because you stress out for weeks about buying presents and getting everything wrapped, and then literally within half an hour on Christmas morning, it's just all over the floor. It never fails to amaze me that, the people are so worried about what's going to happen with getting the wrapping done. It's literally gone within half an hour on the morning. It's madness. Pedro says 100% we need another striker. We have won with 10 men before, says Truls. Yeah, we have. When you win, Merry Christmas, Toon Army. I'm nervous of this one, but I'm always nervous. He's going 1-1. Plank of wood up front today. Phil, good afternoon. All hope everyone survived yesterday. I spent a lot of it sleeping. I felt really drowsy yesterday. I don't know whether I'd caught something. I mean, Susan's not too grand today either. But like I say, the kids have had awful bugs brought back from school. But it is what it is. Paul says, I think we should get Tielemans for free in the summer and use Madison money for Thuram and get a winger this window. Interesting look on that. Norvik says, happy Christmas, Paul. Great to be back. How are the lads? Second place is calling. Reese is very pumped. Would to get a brace. Wouldn't it be nice, though? It would be nice if we're sitting here saying, oh, no, Chris Wood starting again, as we pretty much do every game, to be fair. But on the flip side of that, we also support whoever puts on that black and white shirt. So Chris Wood will get our full support going into the game, and we'll talk about how he played in the review. Now, the review show is tonight at 8 o'clock. I haven't broadcast it yet or put it up as schedule because I want to see what the result is, and then I can put a thumbnail up. So it will be at 8 o'clock tonight, the match review. So we'll do player ratings, etc. then. So please join us for that as well. Merry Christmas, Maggie, says John. Wilson is out in illness according to the official Twitter account. Indeed. Stu says win, and we go second, man. How are we, Eddie's Mags? Afternoon, says Norvik. Troll says, I think Wood would get a bracelet too. Dear. Prob's got the shits off a dodgy Tesco turkey. God knows, mate. God knows. John says, hope you all had a good Christmas. Why not play Stevenson? Look, we know that Chris Wood is Eddie's go-to man if we do have injuries. That's certainly never going to change. It is what it is. And like I said, we just have to have faith in Eddie, guys. Chris Wood, look, we've said what we need to say about Chris Wood. So let's go and support him today and see what happens. I mean, he missed that sitter against Bournemouth, didn't he, earlier in the week, which wouldn't have done his confidence very good at all. But hopefully he can go out and get an early goal or something today, and then that will give him that extra bit of confidence. Although we've said that many times. Let's have a look. What channel is it on? It's on Amazon Prime, Jake. James says, hello, everyone. It's game time again, indeed. Espen says, I betted on NUFC. Keith says, good afternoon, all. Looking forward to this. Jan says, may as well have Pele in the team. He does not play anymore. Yeah, you're not a fan of Woods, are you? Magpie says, what's wrong with the sound of the Prime? What's wrong with the sound on Prime? It's echoing. I've no idea, mate. You can turn it off. So if you want, just turn it off and listen to the commentary on here. Simple as that. Very easy done, my friend. Barth says that Madison will be doing a medical with us in a week. Yeah, he is hoping, definitely. And he's going for a tight 1-0 to the Toon today. Spurs result means we're minimum third, no matter the rest of the results today. Yes, it does, Samsonite. So can't believe Wood is up front. Well, believe. Matthew says, with all these leg injuries, I wonder if Rodgers will take 40 million for Maddison's left leg. Look, is he really injured? That's what you have to ask yourself. The transfer window's a week away. Leicester City are playing against a team who have already offered substantial money for this player. So you have to think it does get the alarm bells ringing and think, wow, is he really injured? Jacob says, if Maddison ain't playing, could he be doing transfer business with NUFC? I think there's probably a lot of talks already happened. John's back door, good afternoon. Barney Rubble says, a right kick in the balls, you mean? Wilson being out? Yes, indeed. But look, like I said before, let's just give Chris Wood the support. He's going out there and he will, as he usually does, give 110%. So support him. Let's go out, give him our support, and make sure that he knows. And hopefully, he'll do the business. We can only support him, and then we'll talk about his performance after the game, whether he was good or whether he was shite. It doesn't matter. But let's just support him before the football even kicks off, guys. Sophia, good afternoon to you. Madison not playing because he's on the way to the Toon. Spacebar said the lad is wearing the black and white shirt. Get behind him. Absolutely, Spacebar. That's what we will be doing. Wood is due a goal, not from the spot, to be honest. He is due a goal. And, that miss that he had on Tuesday, it can either go two ways. It can damage his confidence even more, or he can say, fuck it, I'm going to go out there and prove everybody that I can score goals from open play, and I'm going to do it today. He needs to make sure that he makes some good runs, though. When the crosses come in, don't just stand waiting for it. Do what Wilson does. Go and hunt the ball down. Make those runs to the ball instead of the ball coming to you, which is the big thing we've got to see from Chris Wood. Madison just spotted shaking hands with all the Toon players and laughing and smiling. Interesting. Edward says we need one more forward in January. Too many injuries. Surely Maxi up top is a better option than Wood. Yeah, but Maxi's not fit. Chinglish, that's what you need to understand. He's not fit. He came on Tuesday night for a cameo role, and although he did some great things, he wasn't. It was clear that he wasn't fit. So I think Newcastle, they're not going to take a risk with him. Yes, if he's fit enough for 20 minutes, get him on at the end. If it's a close game, if it's not a close game, and we're miles in front, there's no point bringing him on. Jill says it's blooming winter. We get colds and flu. Just take care, wrap up, medicate, and rest indeed. Spacebar says he has been in and out of the side and is now leading the line for us in a massive game. Get behind him for 90 minutes. Well said. Zach says, newer NUFC fan from the States, do you really believe St. Maximin is in-house plans? Is it really still a fitness thing? I believe so. I've certainly got no reason to doubt Eddie Howe. And I don't think Eddie Howe would leave a player like Maxi out the side for a match like it is today. He knows Leicester can turn it on at home from time to time, and they'll certainly be looking to do that. But, you know, let's be honest. We do have a very, very good side. And there's a round of applause going on at Leicester at the moment. Not sure who that's for, but there you go. Just getting my settings right for the match, guys. As Newcastle side is now on the screen. Turn the sound off, full screen. Here we go. Ready for kickoff. Now, let's just hope that this can be a kickoff that we we want to see. Newcastle are going to kick us off, guys. So let's get the clock ready here to go. Newcastle are going to kick us off, and it's going to be Sean Longstaff with the kickoff for Newcastle United. Just waiting for the thumbs up and raring to go. Huge game this for Newcastle. Huge game. I really do hope we can come out with 3 points again and really solidify our top four again and just shut a few people up around the world, in the pundit world, that is. Sean Longstaff, get ready. The referee just waiting for the go-ahead from the fourth official. And we will get the game underway. Still waiting, and still waiting. And they're going to take the knee, first of all. So they decide to take the knee. And the referee is about to blow the whistle and get this finally underway. There we go. We're underway. So, can Newcastle United turn it on today at the King Power Stadium? Of course, I was there for a dreadful defeat lately, where we just didn't turn up. It was an awful defeat, and Newcastle fans were eventually dancing around to the Leicester goal music. So, very different times these days. Very different times. My free stream always buffers at some point, so I'm able to sync most of the time with Toon Review. Not your fault, Paul. Hey, don't worry, mate. That's not your fault. I didn't know Chris Wood was English as Clark. He's not. He's New Zealander. As Sven Botman brings it away, Dan Byrne goes all the way back to His Holiness Nick Pope and across to Fabian Schär, who brings it away out of defence, goes long, looking for the run of, that looks like Joe Linton. It is. It comes to Joe Willock now. Willock, he's got Fabian Schär bobbing forward in support. Trippier's with him as well. Willock, a lovely flick over to Longstaff. He just couldn't take it in his stride. And that was a good opportunity for Newcastle. Again, Sean Longstaff making that little run that he normally does to the near post. It was clipped over the top for him, but he just couldn't control it. And, you know, that's something that me and Alex noticed in midweek as Leicester try and play the ball out and it doesn't work. Joe Linton couldn't quite get the ball over. Here's Big Joe again. He's gone down and the referees give a penalty. And there's no complaints from the Leicester players at all. It is a definite penalty. And Newcastle United with a wonderful chance to go in front in the first couple of minutes of the game. Wow. And Marty made the challenge on Big Joe. It was a terrible challenge, to be fair. And, you know, it was scrambling around. Joe's control wasn't that great, but he managed to flick the ball past to Marty, and there's no doubt it's a penalty. I mean, wherever the ball was going from Joe Linton there, I mean, it did take a heavy touch, but it was an awful tackle, and undoubtedly the referee had no doubt about it, but a point to the spot, and this is a big chance for Chris Wood to shut us all up at the start and get his name on the goal scoring sheet. He's been brilliant from the spot for Newcastle this season. Actually, since he's been here. No spoilers, remember, guys. We're all watching this together. Don't comment until I basically commentate on it, please. He's looking at the ball, Chris Wood, very focused. Can he put Newcastle United 1-0 up very early at the King Power Stadium? Chris Wood just taking his time. He's in no rush. Here he comes up to the ball and scores! Go, 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 go! Crestwood. It's 1-0 inside 3 minutes. And what a start for Eddie's Mags. Brilliant play. Bruno just G'ing everybody up. It was never in doubt from Chris Wood, to be fair. Never in doubt. And he smashes it home. I think he went straight down the middle, to be honest with this one. Just seeing a replay of it now. Steps up, thumps it straight down the middle. No problem at all. And Newcastle United lead at Leicester City in the first couple of minutes of the game. Absolutely wonderful start. And Chris Wood says, there you go. We know what he's like from the spot. We know he's a fantastic penalty taker. And it was never in doubt for me that Chris Wood was going to score there, because we said before the game about penalties, guys, that we know what he's capable of. But what a start for the Magpies. To be honest, Leicester, it all started from Leicester trying to play out from the back. They made a massive dial-up of it. And then, of course, it ended up with Joe Linton winning the penalty. But here's Harvey Barnes for Leicester City now. Crossed into the box. It's a chance. It's well headed away by Joe Linton, of all people, getting back there. Willock, not a great touch. What a start to this game. Joe Linton now down to Joe Willock on the left-hand side. He brings it forward for Newcastle, deep into Leicester's half now. He's got Joe Linton around him. He cuts inside very well. Plays it out to the right-hand side. It's Miggy now, cutting back on his left. Plays it square. Bruno Gimenez. Oh, didn't quite catch it. But it could have been 2-0. And it's a corner. Bruno could have actually left that for Kieran Trippier, to be fair. But Bruno took it on, didn't quite get a hold of it. And Amati cleared it for a corner. But wow. Talk about threatening very early on, guys. The Toon are doing exactly what Eddie would have wanted and what the fans would have wanted. Absolutely superb. Very dangerous going forward. Lovely little ball by Miggy as well, by the way. Looked to hit it and then just clipped it in. Here's the corner. All the way to the back post where Joe Linton is under it, but he can't get a header on it, but he's going to keep it in play. Looking for the support and gets it from Bruno. Bruno then inside to Fabian Schär. Schär's got a run, but he goes the other side. It's just overhit. Bruno made a very good run to the left, and he actually sticks his thumbs up to say, good attempt from Fabian Schär to get the ball across. But what a start, guys. Just seeing the penalty again. I mean, there's no doubt about the penalty. Leicester players didn't even complain. They knew it was a foul. And what a penalty by Chris Wood, straight down the middle. It's a very early goal, of course. We know that some people say, oh, it's not great to score early. It's great to score anytime. And what an absolute brilliant first 5-6 minutes of the game for Newcastle, you have to say. They've had a couple of really, really good attacks already. And hopefully that continues throughout the game. Leicester look all over the place here. They really do. But again, we're tight into them, marking tight, not letting them have any time on the ball, which is similar to what Leicester City did a couple of years ago to many, many teams, guys. They used to hassle and hustle and get stuck into every single loose ball, and it's exactly what Eddie Howe's installed into this team. Oh, Bruno with a Cruyff turn. Wonderful stuff. And it goes out to the right and finds Kieran Trippier. He's got a run from Miggy. Trippier plays the ball over the top. It's Miggy Almiron down the right-hand side. Cuts back onto his left. Head up again from Miggy. Looks for the ball to give. He finds Bruno. Bruno back to Miggy. Miggy's in. It's 2-0. A brilliant goal from Miggy Almiron. Sensational stuff from Newcastle United. And Miggy and Bruno combine again and dance their way through like Strictly Come Dancing. And it's 2 for Newcastle United in the first 7 minutes of the game. And we are off to a bloody flyer at King Power. My God. Brilliant football from the Mags again. And we are 2-0. Holy hell's teeth. George T, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. Brilliant from Miggy. Brilliant ball from Trippier down the right. Then Miggy sees the run of Bruno, clips it in. Miggy then goes for the 1-2 again, dancing through, and a subtle finish. And Miggy's done it again. Brilliant football from Newcastle United. And it's just slotted in by Miggy. I could watch that again and again and again. Poetry in motion, guys. Wonderful football. Wonderful play from Miggy. And again, he just shows the cool head to slot it past Ward into the bottom corner. How's that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just joyous football. I mean, we haven't seen Newcastle play football like this for such a long time. And the interpassing is just superb. And Leicester just cannot get a grip on this game early doors. We have come out flying. We lead 2-0 and we're not even 10 minutes into the game. I mean, you know, we could well and truly kill Leicester City off in this first half. It's just brilliant. Dan Burn now, all the way back to Fabian Schär. He's got Nick Pope in support. He's also got Botman in support. Botman goes long again down the line looking for Joe Linton, and it's cleared out of play. Well, we were all worried about Callum not scoring, but there you go. Edward Gaunt, thank you very much for another 1,000 yen. Thank you very much, my friend. Miggy comes back with style, says James. I friggin' love you all, Toonster, says Barney Rubble. Unbelievable. Rodgers doesn't know what's hit him. He just does not know what's hit him in this first 10 minutes. The football from Newcastle is delightful. Again, Trippier going down the line towards Miggy, and it's just cleared out of play by Leicester City. Throw in midway through the Leicester half. It goes all the way back to Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär now across to Sven of the Botman. He has Dan Burn in support. Instead, decides to go to the left of Joe Linton. Joe Linton turns and wins the throw-in for Newcastle. Took a little bit of a bang on the side of the leg there. I run that off, Will Big Joe. Absolutely superb. The goals that we score, I mean, especially Miggy. I mean, Longstaff's too slow there. Again, he's lost the ball. And this is Dewsbury Hall running into the box now. Daka plays a little flick. Well, I would have hit that first time, but he didn't. Leicester trying to come forward now. Ball crossed in, headed away again by Sven Botman. Miggy back to Trippier. Trippier does not clear. It's not a great clearance from Kieran Trippier. Ball in the box again, and Daka takes a wild swing. And that goes into, well, that's on its way to somewhere else in the Midlands there. Ian Fleming, thank you for your £5 super chat. Get in, Miggy, he says. George, thanks for another £5. Really appreciate that, my friend. You know what it is? I think Longstaff there, that's where Longstaff still is a little bit at fault for me. He's got to be more switched on in the middle there. He had the ball. He had plenty of space and time. And Leicester closed him down and won the ball. That's not what we want to see. We don't want to see him losing the ball in silly places like that. It's a risky business, that is. So hopefully he'll learn from that. But 10 minutes gone, guys. If you just joined the stream, thank you very much for spending your company with this watch along today. As I say, watch it on Amazon Prime, but watch the actual, listen to my commentary, of course, and support the channel. We've got over 550 watching, which is fantastic. Newcastle United are 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes. We've had goals from a Chris Wood penalty right down the middle. And, of course, a wonderful, wonderful goal from Miggy Almiron. Lovely ball down the line from Kieran Trippier. And then Almiron basically flicked it back to Bruno. Bruno played it straight back to Miggy. And he danced through like he was wearing sequins and just tucked it into the bottom corner. Wonderful stuff from Newcastle. But we've got to be switched on and stay alert, as it's just been proved there with Sean Longstaff losing the ball in the middle of the park. That could have been a lot worse, but Daka's swing and a miss. But Leicester City, they look very, very, very well hit and miss at the minute. They're coming forward again now, but Kieran Trippier is there to intercept the ball. Trippier, he's got Chris Woody. It goes back to Trippier. Trippier's then fouled from behind and a free kick to Newcastle. And you can tell that the Leicester players are very, very frustrated already. They don't like the way Newcastle United are hustling them. It's keep this up and we're away. Dan Burn goes for a run down the left-hand side, but ball rolls off his feet for a Leicester throw deep inside their own half. You've just got to love football like this, guys. I mean, it's so long since we had a team that plays football like this. Eddie's just sensational. But there's a long way to go in this game, and we can't get carried away yet at all. This is a very, very important part of the game now, where we need to stay alert for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure that we don't give anything to Leicester City and keep this margin. But it's Newcastle on the attack so far. Lovely ball by Fabian Schär out to Kieran Trippier. Trippier flicks the ball down the right-hand side to Miggy again. Miggy's ball in. Not the greatest, but he was on his right foot. Comes back to Trippier. Joe Linton at the back post. It's brilliantly blocked. It's a wonderful block, in fact. And the referee stops the play because it looks like there's a head injury to the Leicester player. Well, that's not a head injury. That's certainly not where he's holding. But nevertheless, the referee decides to stop the play. There was no malice in that. It was just basically Joe Linton going for a header. Just seeing it again now. Up he goes. Yeah, he just clatters into the side of him. Both jumping for the header. Joe Linton's already in the air before the Leicester player arrives. But he did, to be fair, he did enough to put Joe Linton off the header. But that's a painful one in the ribs, without a shadow of a doubt. Barney Rubble says, looks like the trip to Saudi was ideal to drill the Brazilian way into them. I'm on the raspberry vodka with Pepsi, says Michael. Foxy says 2-0 already. Wow, making me feel a bit better. My cat of 14 years passed away today in my arms. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Foxy. But hopefully the lads will, well, like they're doing already, they're giving you something to shout about here, buddy, and cheer you up a little bit. So chin up, Foxy. Paul, we're winning the league. Trust me, says AG. Carl says, I hope Madison is watching what he could be part of. Well, certainly the opening 15 minutes, it's right up there as we see Miggy's goal again. Brilliant run down the right, cuts back immediately onto his left, brings it inside, lays it to Bruno. Bruno, just a first-time ball through to Miggy, perfectly weighted, and it's a wonderful, wonderful finish from Almiron and puts us 2-0 ahead. And it really, we've shell-shocked Leicester City in the first 15 minutes. There is no doubt in my eyes about that. It's just fabulous to watch. It really is. As the Leicester player is still down here. This could be a couple of broken ribs, actually, if I'm honest, because the way he clattered Joe Linton from the side, Joe Linton's knees into the rib area, that's going to be a very painful one. He's sitting up now, which is good to see. But they are signaling back to the bench, so I don't know what they're going to do. But this is just another thing that will upset the apple cart for Leicester City if they have to make a very early change. The 2 goals down, things are not going well for them at all in this game so far. And the last thing they need is to have to bring a player off injured. Ashley 80's just saying a big love to Foxy. Godfather says, Paul, I said a few months ago we're winning the league and people laughed. Well, look, there's still a long way to go here as Brendan Rodgers is now in a discussion with his backroom team because I think Leicester are going to have to make a change here. He is not walking very well at all. He is holding is it his lower ribs on the left-hand side? I think it might be. Which is going to be a painful one, but there certainly doesn't look like he's going to play any further part in this game, and Leicester are going to have to make a substitution. He looks very dazed, actually, as well, and struggling to get his breath, as Dennis Pratt. And it's going to be a Jose Perez to come on. Interesting. So a complete change of formation for Leicester City, but there you go. Long ball now played from the goalkeeper, headed back towards Daka now. Daka manages to bring the ball down. He plays it through. That's a good run by Harvey Barnes. He gets round the back of Trippier. Trippier stands it up to him, but comes back to Daka, but Miggy's back there helping out. And Miggy will win a goal kick. No, the referee says a corner. Never mind, but Miggy did really well there, getting back and helping out. But it is going to be Jose Perez coming on for Dennis Pratt. I find that a bit of a strange decision. But what the hell do I care? We're 2-0 up. Leicester City have a corner. Let's just defend this as well as we possibly can here, not give any stupid goals away. I think Leicester are going to try and make the substitution actually before the corner. And, of course, bring on Jose Perez, the former Newcastle United man, which means Leicester are definitely going to have to change the formation. On comes Jose Perez. And he will be definitely wanting to get one over his old team. There's no doubt about that. But is he good enough to do that? Time will tell. That's certainly going to be interesting. Anyway, Leicester have a corner here. Across it comes from Tielemans. And it's flicked on at the back post. Knocked back now to Perez. Perez to Barnes. Dangerous play here. Good closing down by Big Dan Burn. And it's a throw into Leicester City. Again, you know, they're trying to get the balls into the box of the Leicester players, and it's just not happening for them at the minute. It really isn't. Lost my voice due to man flu, says Ian Skinner. I sounded like some deflated bagpipes on Miggy's goal. Oh, dear me. Yeah. He's a threat, is Perez, says Jack. He is indeed. But the way this game has started, we are a bigger threat. But anyway, Tielemans' corner again, headed away at the front post by Newcastle United. Bruno brings it away, and he's got a scampering forward, Miggy. Miggy's got, he couldn't get it through to Longstaff, who was in acres of space on the right-hand side. Longstaff breathing down on Danny Ward. But a poor ball there from Miggy, it really was. He could have set Sean Longstaff away, and the referee gives a free kick for a foul by Bruno. I thought Bruno won the ball there, but hey-ho. Just took a screenshot of the Premier League. We're in second, says Rochi. Yep. Let's not get carried away, guys. So far, we are playing really well. And let's just hope now that the rest of the match goes the same way as Botman heads it down. Longstaff comes back in on Perez and wins it very well. Lays it to Joe Willock. Willock now across the field. He's lost the ball, but we win it back. Bruno again calmly winning it back for Newcastle. Back to Kieran Trippier, who then goes to Fabian Schär. Schär has got Nick Pope, and Dewsbury Hall breathing down on him, but Nick Pope goes left-footed towards Joe Linton on the left-hand side. Chris Wood was being pressed and harried there, but the referee gives him nothing. Leicester getting a little bit of a foothold in the game the last couple of minutes, but you'd expect them to. They're the home team. They're 2-0 down very early in the game. You'd expect them to have to come at us. Here's Perez now for Leicester City. Out to the right-hand side. Tielemans inside now. Leicester have got to come at us. They've got no choice, which may keep things open. And a foul by Joe Linton there. And I think that's a little one back on Castagnet for the little knee-to-knee had earlier in the game. But we're coming up to 20 minutes gone. It's still Leicester City 0, Newcastle United 2 at the King Power. Goals from Chris Wood from the penalty spot. And a wonderful finish from, yet again, Miguel Almiron. And we are 2-0 up. Tielemans is going to swing this free kick in for Leicester City. Right on the touchline here. So, they play a little short one, and it hasn't worked. Why didn't Longstaff get a shout? I mean, Longstaff's belted it into the crowd for a throw-in. He could have let that go, and it would have been a goal kick. Tielemans again. Nice ball down the right-hand side to Jose Perez. Perez has got Dan Burn against him, and Dan Burn wins the ball and comes out on top. That was a shirt pull by Perez. How is that not a foul by Perez? Gordon Bennett, chop a monkey up and boil it. Unbelievable decision from the referee. Great interception, that by Miggy again. And he's just proved so much defensively already in this game, as well as his goal. Getting back and helping out, stretching himself there to win that ball. But of course, Newcastle may just say, right, let's see what you got, Leicester. We've got no reason now to come at you at 100 mile an hour all the time. We can just sit and play the ball around a little bit and let it go, and we just see what happens. I can see us hitting them on the brakes as Paul Hansen. Indeed, that's what we will do. We've got no reason to now go gung-ho. Geordie boys, we are here. Yes, says Stu. I'm happy with any European nights next year, says Ashley 80s. Yeah, well, the dream is at the moment coming true. Ian says, I protest on behalf of all monkeys. I don't even know why I said that, to be honest. That's just one of my commentary quirks that I come out with stuff that I haven't got a clue why I do. But that's just the way it is. Anyway, Fabian Schär has the ball. Just a reminder, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, why not become part of the community by hitting that subscribe button? On the way to 16,000 subscribers, and you could be part of that incredible journey that we're on by hitting the subscribe button. And of course, if you want to donate to the channel like so many have already, you can hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments and it will take you through. Thank you in advance for that. As now, Leicester scream forward now with Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall, he looks for the runner. Daka, he's going to get there. And a brilliant bit of play from Nick Pope. Never in a million years a penalty because he got the ball. He saved the ball and then it was up to Fabian Schär to get rid of it. What a chance for Leicester City. And Newcastle United have a goal kick and Daka can't believe it. Wonderful goalkeeping from Nick Pope. VAR will check it, of course. Of course they will. But no way in hell was that a penalty. Brilliant bit of play. Wonderful through ball by Dewsbury Hall. Daka's onside. Great bit of goalkeeping. I mean, he won the ball. It can't be a penalty. He simply can't. And then Botman got back to clear it as the ball was rolling towards the goal. Nick Pope just stood big, got the ball, made the save, and cleared by Sven Botman. So no penalty, nowhere in a million years because Nick Pope came out, made the save. It just rebounded off Daka again and headed towards the goal. So in no possible way can that be a penalty kick. and Newcastle will get the goal kick. But again, Nick Pope, very, very quick off his line, but that's what we've got to watch out for here. And guys, as Julie says there, if you're slightly ahead of me on the stream, do not put any spoilers in the comments. Wait till I've commentated on it and then talk about it in the chat, please. That is the normal rules of a Toon Review watch-along. Well, Leicester certainly getting more of the ball here, which, of course, you'd probably expect with Leicester being the home team and being 2-0 down. They've got to do something about this. They've got to do something about it quickly. And again, Nick Pope comes off his line. Dan Burn hooks it away, though. Perez. Bruno sticks to him like glue. The ball rebounds to Castagnier on the right-hand side. He will take the throw in for Leicester. Leicester keen to get on with it. All the way back to Amate. Plays it over to Faiz. Faiz steps up with the ball a bit. He's got a bit of a Colaccini look to him, certainly with a haircut. Chris Wood now wins it back, goes back to Fabian Schär. Schär launches one to the right-hand side looking for Miggy. Miggy just stood off him a bit. Faiz goes all the way back to Danny Ward. But certainly last 5-10 minutes, Leicester City beginning to ask a few questions here, which you'd probably expect. Out on the left-hand side now, played through, looking for Daka again, but that's way over hit, and Nick Pope will just bring the ball down, and he'll make Daka come to him, and then balls it out to Sven Botman. Botman now brings it away for Newcastle, inside to Bruno. Bruno back to Botman. Botman steps up. Plays it inside to Joe Willock now. Willock's got Joe Linton on the left-hand side. Joe Linton now, he's got the overlap from Willock. He's tackled, but manages to hang on to the ball. Back to Dan Burn, inside to Bruno. Bruno's got Trippier in a lot of space on the right-hand side. Bruno sees him. Lovely ball, brought down by Trippier again. Trippier's head up, plays a through ball, looking for the runner, Chris Wood. Finds him. Wood nods it down. It's not the greatest header, and it's straight to a Leicester player, Thomas, and he wins a goal kick off Sean Longstaff. So again, not the greatest play from Chris Wood there, trying to knock it down to Longstaff, but the header was poor. Just hoping for a clean sheet now, says Parsley Street. Yep, indeed. Madison is going in February, not January. Well, you can't go in February because the window's shut. And a 2-on-1 here for Leicester. Newcastle have gone completely to sleep. I don't know what Daka was doing there. Sven Botman just rolls him off the ball. I mean, that's poor from Daka because it was a 3-on-1 at one stage and Leicester City blew it. I don't know what Newcastle were doing defensively-wise, but good gracious me. Daka's complaining. It was a perfectly good tackle from Botman. Daka's just annoyed because he messed it up. And that's twice he's done that now. But we need to wake up a little bit here because Leicester have come back at us. I mean, that's just a fair challenge by Botman, using his strength to win it. But Daka had a man over, I think it was Harvey Barnes, nobody on him. 2-on-1, and he messed it up. And I think that's why he was so frustrated. He didn't get a free kick because he completely ballsed it up. Fabian Schär now for Newcastle wins the throw-in of Dewsbury Hall's tackle. But we just need to wake up a little bit here. We've gone a bit off the boil, shall we say. But, well, after that blistering start, I mean, we just need to calm it down a little bit. And I'm sure Eddie will put that through to the players. Just a little bit on the sleepy side as Fabian Schär launches one. And then nods it back to Nick Pope. Nick Pope then throws it straight out to Big Dan Burn on the left-hand side. A little bit of space for him to bring the ball forward. Cuts inside, but Perez wins it back for Leicester City. Anyway, here is Botman. Botman down the line to Burn. Burn goes back to Botman. Newcastle just need to have a bit of time on the ball at the moment now. Just knock it around and force Leicester to chase us. Try and tire them out a little bit and really frustrate them. Fabian Schär goes long looking for Miggy on the right-hand side. Sorry, that's Trippier. Miggy has the ball now on the right. Good bit of skill there to bounce around Thomas. Miggy just holds him off, lays it through brilliantly. Here's Trippier. Trippier's got a good run of players moving forward, but it was well cut out by Amate, and Leicester survived that. Perez knocks it down. Ball played forward. It's a good ball towards Daka. Daka's got Botman in his way. Can't see any Leicester players getting forward here, but that's good covering by Fabian Schär, and it's a Leicester City throw-in deep inside the Newcastle United half. But again, no panicking from the Newcastle back four. And that ball went out, and it's a throw into Newcastle United, so they will just calm it all down again. Tielemans knocking the ball out there. But Willock needs to get more into this game. He's been very, very quiet this first half, Joe Willock. And, of course, he wasn't great against Bournemouth on Tuesday. But he needs to get more on. He's got to start wanting the ball a bit more and get his foot on it a little bit. He hasn't really been involved very much. My stepdad said Leicester is going to win because I support Leicester, but I said, no, Newcastle is going to win, says Mia Louise. Well, at the minute, it is heading that way. But here's Thomas for Leicester, the left back. He can't really break the ball forward, goes back to Fies. Fies has got Amate in support here. Amate brings it forward. Can't really go anywhere. It's played back to him now. It goes forward. Dan Burn is there to clear for Newcastle United. Now, Ayoze Perez on the right-hand side, won back by Joe Willock. Settled down very nicely by Sven Botman. Willock, terrible ball. Absolutely terrible. Loses the ball again for Newcastle. He's got to wake up. He hasn't had a great half an hour. That's a certainty. And, you know, you get this with Willock where he just goes quiet for a few games. And I was hoping that wouldn't happen because consistency is the key for Joe Willock. But anyway, we play on. Dewsbury Hall looking for Daka now. Daka back to Dewsbury Hall. And it's a collision of Leicester players there. Nothing to do with Newcastle. They've both gone down. Play goes on. Joe Linton is away. Can he beat Ward to it? He can, but Danny Ward just got a foot on it to play it out for a throw in. He did well there, the Leicester keeper, to be honest, because he could have looked like an idiot. But we got two Leicester players who clashed together. Harvey Barnes, I'm trying to see who that is. I think it's Daka. They both collided with each other. And I think Daka took the worst of that. But Newcastle broke. Brilliant ball from Bruno to Joe Linton. Joe Linton looked like he got the ball past the goalkeeper, but just the left foot of Danny Ward just came out and knocked the ball out for a throw-in. But a very good break from Newcastle. Half an hour gone in the game. Leicester City 0, Newcastle United 2. A penalty from Chris Wood and a goal from Miggy Almiron on the first 10 minutes. Just a blistering start for Newcastle United. Daka and Barnes back on the feet. I don't know why Daka hasn't gone off the field there. I don't understand this rule completely. I know player was dead, but he's still... I don't understand that. Anyway, players back underway. Ball with Sven Botman now for Newcastle. Botman looks for support, gets it from his defensive partner, Fabian Schär. Schär goes for the long ball, looking for Trippier again. Hunting. Here's Longstaff into Miggy. Miggy looks for Longstaff again, and that looked like a tick. Oh, is that a corner? It is. Brilliant play from Kieran Trippier. Just backheeled the ball straight under the Leicester player's legs, and it goes out for a corner. Wonderful play again from Kieran Trippier. Didn't know whether he was going to cross it or backheel it. And it was a fantastic move. Joe Linton shouting for the ball. If we can get a third, I mean, that would be a stake in the heart for Leicester City without a shadow of a doubt. Chris Wood and Bruno hovering around Danny Ward, the goalkeeper. As Trippier it is to take the corner. It's right onto the centre spot. Joe Linton! And it's 3-0 to Newcastle United! And I just said before the corner, Joe Linton is screaming for this to land on his head, and he made it his, and he puts a bullet header into the back of the net, and we are incredibly 3-0 up in half an hour at the King Power Stadium, and the Geordies are going absolutely bloody mental. Absolutely fabulous stuff. And it's Leicester 0, Newcastle United 3. Unbelievable, Jeff. Fies trying to clap the Leicester players, trying to get them going here. But that is a stake in the heart. Beautiful corner. Joe Linton made it his. No one was winning that ball but him. And it's in the back of the net. No chance for Danny Ward. Up you go, son. Get on. Brilliant header. Samaria there was so weak. I mean, he didn't even make a challenge to get the ball. He's just trying to hold Joe Linton up. Joe Linton wins the header, and it's nestling in the back of the net. 3-0 to the Toon. And look at that, a big heart to the camera from the Brazilian midfield maestro. 3-0, Newcastle. I genuinely can't believe what I'm watching here. I mean, you know, we're happy to sort of let Leicester have possession now because really there's no need for us to go all out for it. And there's a coming together with Willock and I'm not sure who that is. A little bit of nasties going on there. It's Tielemans. It's going to be a free kick to Leicester. It's Tielemans getting told. There was a little bit of off-the-ball stuff there with Joe Willock. But Leicester, of course, it's all gone to the heads now. I mean, it was a foul, but then Tielemans pushes Willock over. Willock goes for a bit of afters. Rightly so, actually. It was a nasty push by Tielemans. But wow. Fabian Schär now. Joe Linton again. Plays the ball down the left-hand side for Joe Willock. Willock didn't want to play it in first time on his left foot. Just holds the ball up, goes back to Dan Burn. Burn cuts inside. And it cuts it outside again. Willock, good bit of play that from Newcastle. Willock tried to get the ball through to Joe Linton, but it rebounds back to Dan Burn. Sven Botman now for Newcastle United. We'll just roll it back. Ian Fleming, thanks for your fiver. George, thanks for your fiver as well. Thank you very much, guys. I think I saw a super chat from 200 yen from Edward as well. So thank you very much, Edward. Just incredible. And a foul on Chris Wood. Newcastle have a free kick around 40 yards out here. Come on, Maddie, come to the future, says Edward. Absolutely. Trippier on the ball now. Again, there's no need for us to push and push. We'll catch Leicester on the break as they try and get into the game. Burn forward to pretty much nobody, but it comes back to Joe Linton. Wood, Bruno. Again, Miggy screaming for it on the right-hand side. It's a wonderful ball out to Miggy on the right. Miggy, he's got the overlap from Trippier. Doesn't use him. Cuts inside. Plays it to Bruno. Oh, he tried to go for the old 1-2 again. Bruno wins the header. And now Leicester try and break, but Fabian Schär is there to cut that out. And he will go all the way back to Nick Pope here, I'm in no doubt, and just calm it down yet again. His Royal Holiness gives it out to Sven Botman. Botman turns. Bruno now. He's got Tielemans all over him. Longstaff. Longstaff tries to go. He's had a poor half as well, if you ask me. Two players that need to get going are Willock and Longstaff as the ball comes round to Daka. He's got Botman all over him. Botman comes away with the ball. He's just a giant. And then rolls the ball up to Joe Linton. Lovely turn by Joe Linton. Sticks that big ass out like a bloody oil tanker and breaks for Newcastle United. Into Chris Wood. Wood, it's a poor ball to Longstaff, but he's going to get there. Fives brings him down. I thought that was a free kick. The referee said, no, we'll have a throw in instead. Not the greatest ball from Chris Wood to Longstaff. It pretty much, it was a hospital ball. But well played for Longstaff. He didn't give it up either. And Fives didn't get the ball there, by the way. That should have been a free kick. Poor referee in that. But we'll take a throw in anyway. And the ball now with Schär. He will go back to Nick Pope. Leicester, well, they did have a spell of 10 minutes in this first half where they were putting a bit of pressure on. We then go and get a third, which, well, incredibly nails them. What a ball that is by Fabian Schär out to Joe Linton on the left. Deep inside the Leicester half now. Joe Linton cuts back onto his right, then onto his left. He's got Bruno in support. It's Bruno in support. Bruno! Well, he tried to go for the big curler, but didn't quite get a hold of it as well as he wanted to there. Joe Willock a little disappointed that he didn't get the ball. Bruno could have played him in there. As Leicester try and play out from the back again, it's an awful kick from Danny Ward, and it's with Dan Burn. Burn hits it back to Fabian Schär. Schär, again, calm on the ball, goes down the right-hand side looking for Miggy, but that's one of Schär's that just glides out of play. So that's his bad pass for the match gone. Great stuff this to watch. It really is. Sumare now plays it to Thomas on the left side, plays it into Marty now, trying to bring Leicester out from the back. Castagnier now on the right-hand side. Over the halfway line to go. It's a nice ball down the line for Jose Perez. He's got Botman all over him. Tielemans now will play it down the line. Castanier's made a good run. Ball crossed into the box, headed away by Fabian Schär. Willock completely makes a hash of it. That's poor from Willock, but then he wins it back really well. Much better from Willock. But then he lost it again. He goes after Fives. Cut out by Trippier, and then Trippier is fouled. Referee says no. Interesting. As Bruno goes in there with Daka, but Daka comes out with the ball. There's some really meaty challenges going in here. Tielemans now for Leicester City. Tielemans, Daka, he's got a chance to shoot. He tried to play it back, and it's going to be a Leicester corner. And they'll definitely be looking for a goal back before halftime just to give them a chance to get back into the game here. Chris Wood having to go at the referee for something there. Not sure what. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We do welcome all supporters on this channel, not just Newcastle, as Tielemans floats in the corner, headed away by Dan Burn. Newcastle will come away with it with Miggy at 100 mile an hour. Miguel Almiron now cuts inside. He's done very well to win a throw-in. Brilliant from Miggy yet again, as he's been in this first half. He's been absolutely sensational. Come and be part of the Toon Review community, guys, on the way to 16,000 subscribers. It is free to do so. And also, if you like to donate to the channel, as so many wonderful people have already, hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments, guys, and that'll take you through. Arse like an oil tanker is why we love this channel. Thanks, Paul and Billy. You're very welcome, Edward. There is James Maddison. And, you know, it's going to be hard for him to show any facial expressions during this game, given the rumours about him. What a ball that is from Botman out to the right-hand side to Trippier. Trippier then just drags it back inside, then spots the run of Bruno Guimaraes, and the referee says no foul again. He's letting a lot go, this referee. Daka brings it forward for Leicester City. Chris Wood is back there defending. Fantastic stuff from the big man. Plays it forward now, but it's not a great ball from Trippier. Bruno's all over Soumare, but Soumare manages to turn. But again, Newcastle will just set back into position and just shut Leicester down. It's with Amate now, who, of course, gave that penalty away for Newcastle's first goal after only a couple of minutes. Yuri Tielemans, deep inside his own half. He hits a left foot ball, which is an absolute stinker, straight to Almiron. Chris Wood now. Wood, he's got Almiron in support again down the right-hand side. Again, flicks it through to Longstaff, but Longstaff too slow again. And he really has been too slow in this game, Longstaff. Which is disappointing given the way that he's played. He's played really well in recent weeks, and I don't understand. He's off the boil here. He really is. Thank you for another £5 Barney Rubble. This is the Christmas present I wanted. Tune back where we left off. Great channel. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Barney. Is that Fairs or Colaccini? I know I said that earlier on in the game. Yeah, for me, you know, I mean, how can you be critical of players when you're 3-0 up? I mean, it's mental. But Longstaff has lost the ball a couple of times because he's been too slow to react. Miggy played a lovely little flick down the right-hand side to him, and for some reason, he just didn't get it. He should have been making the run earlier. And that's, I believe, where, you know, we will improve as time goes by with more quality on the pitch. But hey-ho, it is what it is. The ball is with Fabian Schär now. I mean, look, Longstaff is still making those good runs into the box. He's still making himself very much available, which is great to see. Bruno now out to Dan Burn on the left. Burn down the line to Joe Willock. Willock clips it back to Dan Burn, chests it down, rolls it into Bruno. Bruno goes all the way back to His Holiness Nick Pope. He's supported by Fabian Schär. Doesn't use him, just floats it out there. Not a great ball, that from Nick Pope. But there is Longstaff winning the ball back for Newcastle again. The referee is letting a lot go in this game. Trippier now brings it forward for Newcastle. Goes back to Botman. Botman out to Burn. Lovely play from Newcastle United. Burn into Joe Linton. Joe Linton swiftly on, looking for the run of Joe Willock. It looked like a handball. Newcastle players appeal, get nothing for it. And Fies gives it away again. And Newcastle United just calm the play down again with Dan Burn. But he's lost the ball there to Daka. But once again, Nick Pope is off his line at 125 miles an hour. And Dan Burn will just walk this forward for Newcastle, not in any hurry. Pings it over to Fabian Schär on the right-hand side. Schär just, again, slowly brings it forward. It's very important not to concede before half-time for Newcastle here. Here's Joe Linton. Bruno can see the run again of Joe Willock. He's going to get there. And Miggy was screaming for it in the middle, as was Chris Wood. It's rolled back to Chris Wood. Oh, he's just over the bar. And again, you would think he has to do better there, guys. He's completely free. It's not offside, Joe Willock. It's a lovely ball played into him. Miggy screaming in the middle, but look at Wood on the edge of the box. He's got so much time again. And you just feel like if that was a Callum Wilson, it's in the back of the net. That's where he has to improve. Brilliant move, though. Brilliant move. It has to be said. And it isn't so bad when you're 3-0 up, I guess, but really, it should now be 4. Similar position to what it was against Bournemouth, to be honest. And I actually think he had time there to take a touch, just take a touch, steady himself and hammer it home. As Willock wins the ball back from Tielemans, again, the referee says no foul. Now Chris Wood sweeps it out to the right to Kieran Trippier. Trippier, he's got a great run forward from Dan Burn, who heads it in towards Chris Wood. The ball bounces down. Longstaff tries to get there, but Leicester City bring it away, and Dan Burn is going on a run. He's over the right-hand side now. Great bit of play by Harvey Barnes, but he can't get past Miggy Almiron. And the ball now back with Nick Pope. Incredible stuff. Newcastle just works so hard to win the ball back. Great turn by Kieran Trippier, but the referee finally says foul. Incredible moments of this game. Well, Magpie says, Top G says, Sitter went for too much power. I think he, when the ball came back, he was thinking, God, this is the same position I was in against Bournemouth. I don't want to overhit this. And maybe tried to place it, but it wasn't even a place shot. It just kind of floated just over the bar. I don't think had it been on target, it would have been any problem for the goalkeeper, to be honest. But he should bury them in the corner, guys. He really should. He should absolutely hammer them. Oh, nearly 750 watching, guys. Thank you so much for your company this afternoon. If you are enjoying this stream, don't forget, hit that like button, guys. And if you're new to our channel, please do hit the subscribe button and come and be part of this community. We've got lots of people who aren't Newcastle United fans as well following this channel just because they love the football banter. So please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Dan Burn winning it back for Newcastle again, and that's going to frustrate Leicester City. It really is. They're not getting any time on the ball. Even at 3-0, Newcastle United just shutting them out the game. Of course, Leicester did have a 10-minute spell where Newcastle were 2-0 up. They had a couple of opportunities, nothing serious, and we held them out. And then we go and score another third, and really have been on top again since then. But we're coming up to half-time. We'll find out how much injury time there is to play very shortly. I would say 2 or 3 minutes probably of injury time at the end of this first half. Tielemans trying to go out to Harvey Barnes, but there is Kieran Trippier. Tielemans, nice turn on Joe Willock, who've had a little bit of a run and battle during this first 45 minutes of the game. And Martin now brings it forward for Leicester. Plays it down the line to Castagnette. Good tackle by Big Joe Linton, who's had a wonderful first half. 3 minutes of injury time will be played at the end of this first half. Newcastle United leading by 3-0. Incredible first half. I mean, if we looked sluggish on Tuesday night against Bournemouth, we've been anything but that in the first half here at the King Power. As Dewsbury Hall tries to get past Kieran Trippier, immediately shut out again. Through into Leicester now, which Thomas will take. Thomas goes all the way back to Fies. Fies now, he's got support from Amate. Amate right in the middle of the centre circle here. Brings it to the left again, goes out to Thomas. Thomas brings it forward for Leicester. And, good defending. Good defending by Kieran Trippier. Dewsbury Hall really should have took that a lot better. But now we've got Willock. Plays it left to Dan Burn. Dan Burn down the line to Joe Linton. Got support from Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes turns, gives it nicely back to Botman. Botman to Dan Burn. Newcastle just knocking it around here, looking for that half-time whistle and come out again fresh for the second half. Dan Burn all the way back to Sven Botman. Botman has got, he's got, again, support from Shea and Nick Pope, of course. And there's Nick Go. Edward Gorn, thank you for another 200 yen. Much appreciated, my friend. Maddie joins us. This is the future. Absolutely. Chris Wood's flick onto Almiron is a poor one. Doesn't reach the intended man. Tielemans now flicks it forward, but again, Daka's going to be nowhere near that. And again, Nick Pope will just wait till Daka gets within a couple of feet and pick the ball up. According to a friend of mine who's a Leicester season ticket holder, Madison to Newcastle has already done £60 million. That's what the talk is down there anyway. Well, I guess we'll see when the transfer window opens in a week's time. Fies now plays it across to Castagnette. Castagnette plays it forward to Samari. Samari's got to go back to Fies. Fies across to Thomas. Newcastle United just now keeping shape and then press when they have to. It's such a beautiful game to watch at times, the way Newcastle played. Bruno, lovely ball into Chris Wood. Back to Bruno. Nice play. Nice link-up play out to Joe Linton on the left. A fourth would be fantastic before half-time. He's got Bruno. Joe Linton's made another run. Oh, good tackle by Castagnette, and it needed to be, because if he didn't get that ball there, it was a penalty. Good work from Trippier. Strong again. Comes to Almiron. Plays it to Chris Wood now. Longstaff. And look at Miggy not giving that up, but it does run out of play. And Leicester are getting very frustrated. What a first half Miggy Almiron's had. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He has been a master of work at this first half. He's been brilliant. Brendan Rodgers clapping, trying to G his players up, but they've been hit by a black and white hurricane in this first half. They really have. Long ball from Danny Ward now as the 3 minutes are up. Should hear the halftime whistle any second now as the ball rolls out for a throw in. The 3 minutes are definitely up, and the referee, I think, is going to blow his whistle for halftime. Indeed, he does. And what a wonderful first half for Newcastle United. Simply splendicious. There is no other words to describe that apart from fabuloso. Leicester had a good 10-minute spell after settling down really into the game after being hit, as I say, by a whirlwind. But Newcastle then stepped it up again with a header from a corner by Big Joe, making it 3-0. And Newcastle, well, you never say cruising in the Premier League, but 3-0 up with 45 minutes left to play. Given how good our defence has been this season, you would think that it's, well, Newcastle are going to probably hold on and comfortably win this game. But, in the past, we'll have said, hey, never forget it's Newcastle United. Now, it is Newcastle United, and we're just dominant, absolutely dominant. Let's get a few of your comments in. Stato, good to see you. Says, brilliant first half, excellent. LS Reggie says, great first half. Sophia says, I've gone cross-eyed already. Black and white hurricane, says Owl House, absolutely. Miggy says, Miggy, Joe Linton and Bruno, exceptional. Yep, I will not argue with that at all. Purely Belt, it's a shame about Wood missed, but couldn't ask for more than that. Absolutely. Fine, 3-0 up. You're not going to make as much of the miss as you would if it was 0-0. But he's got to put them away, man. He's got to. Rach says, I'll take that first half. Class. Ronald says, great half. Let's keep it up. It should, however, be 4. Yes, it should, but it's not. Chris says, are you watching Grealish? Lol. Mia says, whoop, whoop, Toon, Black and White Army. Absolutely, Mia. 100%. Stu is flying away again with we're going to win the league. Lightning strike from the Toon. Yeah, look, we hit Leicester very hard straight away. Jules says, great team effort first half. Fight and desire. Good first half, says Niall. Paul says, excellent commentary, Paul. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Steve with just fucking tremendous, as we were. Red Fire, I am a Real Madrid fan, but I must say your side is going to win the league next season. Wow, from a Real Madrid fan. Thank you very much. Is Maddison even injured, says Niall? Well, that's the question that is the $1 million one, because we don't think he is. Of course, you've got to put into consideration if there is a deal in place, which there may well be. You just don't know. But the fact that he's injured, he was having a holiday in Dubai earlier in the week, and we said on our shows that it's very unlikely that he will play in this game, and we've been proved right. He hasn't. Scott says, class. Look at the table. Yeah, we're second, I believe, now. Guys look amazing. Mia says, yeah, he is. Spacebar, good first half. I think it's better than good first half. Matt says, what a performance. Miggy the laughing assassin, says Peter. He's been tremendous in that first half. He really has. Scott says Tielemans not good enough for us. Well, if you want Tielemans or Maddison, you go for Maddison. Maddison is by far the better player, in my opinion. And, it just really proves how much they've missed Maddison today. They really have missed his superb passing. Russell says, fantastic half. Let's get another 3 goals. Guy says, I have to pinch myself. This is not the team I've been following for the past 50 years. I have hope. Absolutely, Guy. And why not? Why not? Terry Cook says, brilliant first half. Steve says, is Maddison wearing black and white? He might be. Facebook user, not sure who this is, but brilliant this. And the commentary is just as good, Paul. You could be Jeff Stelling's replacement. Well, if anyone from Sky is watching, throw me an email. Yano says, first half, wow, enough said. Look at Shea Given, man. Look at the smile. He can't help but smile. Emil Heskey looks like he's rotting away, but look at Shea Given, man. He's just so happy. Warren, EIEIO, absolutely. So why is Maddison sitting in the stand and not stripped if he's not injured? Well, apparently he is injured. That's what Leicester is saying. We don't believe he is because we believe he's coming to us. Or if it's not us, he's going somewhere. But, I mean, Shea's face says it all, doesn't it? Look how happy he is. Just great stuff. Dolphin says, watching from the States, North Carolina. Keep it going, boys. Absolutely. Cesare is just popping in. Hope you're all well. Thank you, Cesare. Tom says, we're looking very good, but as you say, a couple of players a little off, and yet we're still flying. Yeah, which is a good sign, isn't it? But that's, I'll tell you what, though, that's what we've done. And we've mentioned this quite a few times during our, match reviews and looking at the team. And you said, even if there's a couple of players off, it doesn't really affect them because the other players step up. They all look after each other on the pitch, and even if they're having not so great games, they've got that capability just to step up that little bit more for those that are off the game, and that's what makes this team so special. And it is special. It is a very special team. I mean, we're looking at the second goal here. Brilliant ball over the top from Trippier. As soon as Miggy gets it, he touches it inside. Longstaff makes a dummy run, which is brilliant. He plays it back to Bruno. That creates the space. And then Miggy, fabulous control, and just rolls it into the corner. It really is awesome. And Bruno, again, just the star of the show with some of his moves. He's been absolutely wonderful. Malcolm says, fantastic commentary, Paul. Toon on fire. Thank you very much. Seth says, well, that was fun. Faramir says, I thought Wood did okay. He has done okay. He's done some nice little things, some nice little touches, but the problem is with Chris Wood, where it really counts for him as a striker, it's not happening. When you think that Chris Wood should be putting that ball in the back of the net, when he got that chance towards the end of the first half, he should be smashing that home. But he's done some nice stuff away from the box. But when it comes to doing stuff in the box, he's just not there. But the penalty, look, no question. We know he's a fabulous penalty taker. And that's exactly what it was. It was a brilliant penalty. Just seeing Joe Linton's header. Soumare there was so poor. I mean, you talk about not challenging for the ball. And Joe Linton just said, that's mine, son. I'm having it. AJ says, outstanding performance. When will Garan Kuol join us? Well, January, but I think he's going straight out on loan. C-Stock says, who would have thought this time last year that within 1 year we'd be sitting in second on Boxing Day? Buzzing. Yeah, it's unreal. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Trevor says, come on the Toon. Leicester booed off at half-time, says Owl House. Absolutely, there were. This group of players never cease to amaze me, says Geordie. How are you, man? Indeed, remember what we were saying at the start when everyone's saying, I'll take a draw now, with Wilson being out and Maxi on the bench. Everybody's saying, I'll take a draw, I'll take a draw. And it just hasn't worked out like that, has it? It's just not worked out like that. Again, this magic that Eddie Howe seems to have about him just brings everything to the fore, doesn't it? I mean, he's just wonderful. To get what he has out of some of these players who we thought were write-offs. Incredible stuff. Gareth says it's mind-blowing and it's great time to be alive. Outstanding holding off Man City till the end of the league. Yeah, incredible. Jack says, from a Chelsea fan, you lot are flying. Thanks very much, Jack. Really appreciate that, my friend. And despite what some Leicester City fans have been saying, we are not Man United Mark II fans. We have gone through the doldrums for 15 years. Give us a break, for God's sake. We're not entitled to anything. And any proper Newcastle United fan will tell you that we're not entitled to anything. No, we'll be entitled to things if we play well enough to win things. And that is what we're doing. We haven't spent crazy money. We've brought in a few good players. But this manager is a very, very special guy. Let's not beat around the bush here. This guy is special. And he's special to us Newcastle United fans for many, many reasons. But what he's done for this team and the city to revive this football club and give it back to us along with the new owners, it's brilliant. So we are not entitled at all, as some fans think we are. Kendo says, the table is unbelievable, especially given where we were 12 months ago. Gareth, the football is so much better, starting to look like the football from the entertaining years. We could be better because I think the defense is better. We're not shipping as many goals as the entertaining years. That's a certainty. So you could, very, very interesting debate though, isn't it? Matt says, the work rate on Longstaff and Willock in first half is just amazing. Yeah, look, nobody's ever going to question the work rate from any one of these players that is on the pitch. I'd just like to see a bit more with the ball. Longstaff looked a little bit slow in certain occasions there. He lost the ball a couple of times, which led to some dangerous Leicester City attacks. And then, of course, Willock, has had a bit of a quiet first half. He's done some decent things, but he's not been in the game as much as, Joe Linton has, as much as Miggy and Bruno. He's got to get himself in there a bit more. But no one's questioning work rate at all. Levi says we could win the league this season. Allison says, second in the league. Great performance from the lads. Madison not playing, maybe because a deal is going through. Let's keep fingers crossed, David. Pooley Max says, top quality football. Let's take it to them now and put them to the sword. Look, I think we'll try and do something like that in the second half, but there's no pressure on us to come out now and go at them and constantly go at them. Just play the ball around. Certainly when Leicester have got the ball in their own half, there's no reason for us to really push now. We're 3-0 up. Let's just see this game out, take the 3 points back to Newcastle, and it's on to Leeds on New Year's Eve. That's what we'll be looking at more than anything. And that's what I believe we'll do. Jabba Dabba Doo, thanks for your £5 super chat. He says, wipes my eyes. I'm sure I'm not playing FIFA. Wow, keep it going, lads. Yeah, absolutely. Miggy has covered the whole pitch. The lads on one, and it's amazing to watch. Yeah, look, his defensive work was fabulous, coming back and helping Trips out. And then Trippier's been helping Miggy out going forward. Those two have such an understanding, as does Miggy and Bruno. That 1-2 for the goal was sensational stuff. We've seen it before this season, of course, and it's just brilliant to watch. It really is. Warren says this is the same Leicester side we got in the quarterfinals. We can beat these and reach the semis, of course. Yeah, we're at home to Leicester in the quarterfinals of the Carabao. Just looking at some Leicester fans there. I think they've been completely stunned by what they've seen so far. Eddie Howe to be the first English manager to win the Premier League. Maybe not this season, but he carries on. He will be our Ferguson Wenger. Yep, I'm certainly not going to argue with you on that point. I think Eddie knows how big he can be at this club. I was just seeing Nick Pope save again from Daka. I don't know how Daka was appealing for a penalty, because Nick Pope saved it and it bounced back onto Daka. But again, you talk about covering each other's arses. Sven Botman there to cover back and clear it off the line. Well, not on the line, but just as it was rolling in. Any more pace on it, it would have gone in the back of the net. But Sven Botman got there in plenty of time. Again, covering each other absolutely brilliantly. Peter says, I'm in heaven. Can't believe that start. Wafty says, Leicester City avoided relegation and then won the league the next season. Could we do the same? Maybe not, but we can dream. Why not dream, Walty? Why not dream? And listen, the thing is, right, we've made comparisons to Leicester many times on this channel where we've said, look, everybody wrote Leicester City off and didn't give them a Scooby-Doo's chance of winning the league. They went on to win it after narrowly missing relegation the season before. And of course, we didn't narrowly miss relegation. Of course, we pulled away from it in plenty of time last season. But it's a similarity, and maybe that can happen. We'll just have to wait and see, of course. But you know what? I'm not saying Newcastle are going to win the league by any stretch of the imagination. But you keep getting results, guys. You've just got to keep believing. And the way we're playing is just sensational. Cockeyed Cyclops says, I've just woke up. First time in weeks I've slept 8 hours. Would have given that up to catch the start of the match. Yeah. We've just seen a few highlights from Everton Wolves as Everton have scored a goal there. So, but Wolves coming back here. Yeah, 1-1. Interesting. 1-1 at half-time at Goodison. Wolves really need to get going this season, or else they're in serious trouble of getting relegated, of course. But it is 1-1. And now we're seeing Southampton, Brighton, seeing how they're getting on. Brighton on the attack here. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. The Fulham goalkeeper won't want to see that again. Lallana. Oh, he scored against Southampton. Brighton coming back again here. Oh, dear me. Fulham having a mare. 2-0 to Brighton at half-time. An own goal, but really the goalkeeper's had an absolute mare for both those goals. For Southampton, sorry. Now, Fulham against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Oh, what a goal. Brilliant ball in there from Mitrovic. And Deco Dover-Reid, I think, heading that in the back of the net. Oh, wow. Red card to Palace. That's an awful tackle. Fulham lead at half-time, 1-0. But a straight red. and deservedly so, looking at that tackle. Physics says, imagine the players we could bring in if we win, if we keep playing like this. Absolutely. Well, Leicester are going to do something about it because their number 9 is going to be making an appearance for the second half, Jamie Vardy. So Vardy is coming on as Newcastle United come onto the pitch. So Leicester pinning the hopes on a comeback here on Jamie Vardy. 3-0 down. I presume it's Daka that he's replaced unless he's gone 2 up front. Vardy all smiles. I'm not sure Leicester have got a lot to smile about at the minute. Let's see who he's coming on for. It is Daka. So, well, they haven't gone 2 up front. They'll just keep Jamie Vardy up front. But I think, Sven Botman and Fabian Schär will look forward to playing against Jamie Vardy. He's a very, very dangerous player, but it's one of those there you thrive on playing against the best. And Jamie Vardy has certainly been one of the better strikers in time in the Premier League, certainly over his time at Leicester. So here we go, underway for the second half. I better get my clock sorted. There we go. Put it at 45-20 in case it slows down a little bit, but we are underway for the second half. And the ball is with Thomas on the left-hand side. Thomas looks a bit distraught that the throw-in got given there to Newcastle. Clearly was a throw-in, but Kieran Trippier now just over the halfway line will take the throw for Newcastle, who have made no changes at half-time and really didn't really have to. Of course, they still have Maxi on the bench as Leicester break forward now with a Josi Perez in a bit of space left to Harvey Barnes, but Harvey's touch is very poor. Newcastle get the ball back now with Longstaff, and Longstaff brings it forward now for Newcastle United. He's got a run, but he plays it back to, trying to see who that is, Trippier. Longstaff back to Trippier. Trippier again just slows it down. Newcastle again in no rush down the line to Longstaff. Longstaff met by Thomas and loses the ball. Harvey Barnes quickly taken out of it by Kieran Trippier. And you've got to expect, guys, Leicester will come at us at 300 mile an hour at the start of the second half. Or that's what you would expect from them if they are to try and get back in the game. They've got to try and get a quick early goal back. Now, whether that leaves space for us to utilise and come onto them, we will see. But we will just see the game out, as hopefully we're very good at doing, as we win a throw in right by the dugouts, which Dan Burn is going to take. Jamie Vardy plays for Leicester. Yes, he does, mate. My son used to be in the school orchestra and played now and again at Dewsbury Town Hall. It makes me laugh. Someone is called Dewsbury Hall. Yeah, he's a very decent player, though, Rachel. As Leicester try and come at us now with Tielemans, but he's met by Willock. Started that ongoing battle, and Joe Linton is brought down by Castagnet. And again, Newcastle just taking the sting out of Leicester, as they will, Eddie Howe will have instructed them to do so, certainly the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. Take the sting out of any attack and just kill the game. As Kieran Trippier comes across to take this free kick right on the halfway line for Newcastle United. So Brendan Rodgers chewing on his chewing gum there. Really hasn't got a lot to cheer about from this game so far. Leicester desperately trying to get back into it, but Trippier thumps the ball long into that penalty area, flicked on by Dan Burn, headed away by Fies, bounces loose, and it comes to Botman, and he hits a volley over the bar. And Sven Botman had a glorious opportunity there. We're just willing Big Sven to get a goal, aren't we? We are just willing. It was a bit of a goalmouth scramble. As the free kick was played right in the middle of the box there. Well won by Botman initially, and then it pings around a little bit. Burn went for it, and then it bounced, sits nicely for Botman. And the volley is certainly a central defender's volley. There's no doubt about that. High over the bar. But again, shooting on sight. Here's Joe Willock. Willock. Oh, it's an awful ball, really, trying to play Chris Wood in. But it looked like it got stuck on his foot there. And forced the ball to be hit a lot harder than he wanted to from Joe Willock there. As Miggy goes on a chase for the ball again. Fies plays it long. Well, there's a clash there between Fabian Schär and Harvey Barnes. Schär got one on the foot, but Newcastle get a free kick for that. Catherine says, I want Botman to score badly. Get Maxi on. Game suits him so much now with them having to go for it. Hit them on the counters. I'm sure if he needs to bring Maxi on, he'll bring him on. If there's no need to risk him, if he's, if there is any injury doubt about him, Eddie won't bring him on. But we'll just have to wait and see later on in the half. I like the story with Vardy. Lower leagues, top scorer in the Premier League when Leicester won the league. But come on, the Toon, another goal. Yeah, just again flicked on there, but well claimed by Danny Ward. Those balls into the box are causing Leicester City all sorts of problems. That's a foul. Fabian Schär, playing as a front three there. I think brought him down, just took the sting. Long ball again, but that's going to be Nick Pope's all day. Newcastle will deal with them every day of the week. Just a long ball played over the top. Nick Pope is so quick at coming off his line. And like the rest of the defenders, they just cover each other's backs constantly. Botman now for Newcastle just rolls it back to Nick Pope. Pope hits it long, looking for Chris Wood. Chris Wood gets it, flicks it on to Joe Willock. Nice play. Willock's got a brilliant run by Miguel Almiron. Thomas is trying to get back and does so. Good defender by the youngster there, because if Miggy had managed to beat him to the ball, Miggy was in again. So good defending by the youngster, the left back for Leicester there. But Newcastle again going to take all the time in the world over this throw in. Then it's in no rush. Trippier walks up to the ball, doing what they have to do to secure the win. Trippier now plays it into Longstaff. Longstaff back to Miggy. Miggy to Trippier. Then goes on another run. It's just overhit by Trippier. And the ball rolls out for a goal kick to Leicester. So very good chances again there. As you see, Newcastle fans with tops off again, just loving it. Christmas time and topless in the stands. Incredible. Long ball played forward now to Jose Perez for Leicester. He's got the run of Vardy. Vardy's got inside of Sven Botman. Plays the ball across. Barnes can't get there. Comes out to, still with Barnes on the edge of the box. Has a run. Now it's played back to Dewsbury Hall. He had a shooting opportunity there, but didn't let it go. Cuts back onto his left. Back to Harvey Barnes. Barnes now clips it in. Headed away by Fabian Schär. Straight back to Dewsbury Hall. This is better from Leicester. Thomas now back to Barnes. Dewsbury Hall. Again, looking for that one run, that killer pass. But good work by Newcastle United, forcing Leicester back. All the way back to Fies. Amate now for Leicester City. Plays it into Sumare. Back to Amate. Back to Fies. Fies now out to the left to Thomas. But Newcastle have got back in position now. And the move seems to have gone. Little push there by Longstaff, nothing too much. Castagnier now trying to get forward for Leicester City. And Vardy taken out of it by Botman. Vardy claims he was elbowed in the face. That is a late tackle on Sven Botman. That's a shocker. That's an absolute shocker. Vardy complains to the referee. I'm not sure who it was that took out Sven Botman. But Fabian Schär's asking the question where the hell the booking is, because that was so late. I think Botman's going to be okay, but this is an awful tackle. There's Vardy thinking that he's been elbowed in the face. Really pathetic. And it was Castagnier, actually. I mean, he is so late there. How is that not a yellow card? He's got to be booked for that kind of thing. As really frustration is probably boiling into Leicester now. They would have hoped to have got a goal back. They haven't at the start of the second half. I'm very, very surprised he's got away with a booking there. That was an awful tackle. Very late. Anyway, Nick Pope takes the free kick for Newcastle deep into the Leicester half. Good work to win the ball back. Joe Linton battling hard as he normally does. That looks like a Leicester throw, but it's been given to Newcastle incredibly. I don't know how that is a Leicester throw, but what the hell? It doesn't matter. We'll take that every day. Dan Burn for Newcastle United now. Joe Linton. Back to Dan Burn. Burn clips it high towards Chris Wood. Wood does well. Flicks it onto Joe Willock. Willock just can't keep it in play, though. And it rolls out for a Leicester City deep inside their half. Question is, will we see Maxi come on in the second half? That is the question. Do we need him? Do we risk him? Certainly as long as it's 3-0. Probably not. Willock tried to win the ball down the left-hand side, but Leicester break away now with Tielemans. Tielemans to Fies. Fies goes to Amati. Again, shut down extremely quickly. And Leicester messing around with it at the back. They get away with it in the end. Thomas brings it away to... he's lost the ball. Sumare again having an absolute mare. And Leicester win it back. The referee he's allowing play to flow, if anything. Great defending by Fabian Schär there to win the ball. Otherwise, Leicester were in, and we win it back again with Trippier. Skips inside and then has his shirt pulled. That's got to be a yellow card, referee. It's a shirt pull. I mean, how is that not a yellow card? Trippier's away. He pulls him back. Why is he not being booked? I don't understand some of these rules. I don't get the rules. I mean, surely you've got to book a player for that. Anyway, not given. We play on. And it's with Longstaff now. And he goes right across to Joe Linton on the left. He's got support from Dan Burn. Joe Linton cuts it back on his right to Willock. Willock floats across right to the back to the other side of the area where Miggy awaits. Back to Trippier. Trippier whips a free kick. Whips a cross in. And at last, Chris Wood actually went to win the ball there, which was very impressive. But it's still 3-0 to Newcastle. We've had 10 minutes of this second half. And Leicester really haven't threatened anything on Nick Pope to try and get a goal back. It's been that very, very resolute defending again for Newcastle United, it has to be said. And it's bloody brilliant. And that looks like a foul by Dewsbury Hall and Longstaff. He's not very happy, but Longstaff will take that any day of the week. And there's a little chat with Dewsbury Hall about the challenge. But again, Newcastle United at the moment in cruise mode, just seeing this game out, and really they're slowing the game up because they're taking all these, committing Leicester into all these little fouls and things like that, and Leicester are falling for it hook, line, and sinker. As Trippier takes the free kick, Joe Linton at the back post, that's clearly in for, and that will go for a Newcastle United corner. And again, they're going to be in no rush to take this corner because Kieran Trippier will want to get on the, will want to swing this in again, and hopefully get the same result. Land on Joe Linton's head, go in the net, 4-0, game over, see you later. There's a guy that looks like James Corden in the Newcastle end there with his top off, probably about the same size as James Corden as well, with a very distinct wig. But hey, there you go. Anyway, corner to Newcastle United. Can they get a fourth goal and really, really stick the knife into Leicester? Trippier just looking to see who's available. Here comes the corner. Again, Danny Ward came for it, didn't get there. He was nowhere near it. Scramble in the box again. Bruno trying to hang on to it. It comes to Miggy. Rolls it into Bruno, but Bruno couldn't quite control it. Miggy, Bruno again. He's this time fought off the ball. It's incredible stuff. Newcastle just will not give up to win the ball back. They're just going in all the time, and it is really frustrating Leicester City. Swung out to the left-hand side by Sven Botman. Wonderful ball. Chris Wood now tries to send Willock through. Just intercepted by Castagnier there, and Fies brings it away. A couple of really prominent goal-mouth scrambles at the start of this second half. Botman, of course, was able to get a volley in, and on this occasion, it didn't quite fall for Bruno twice when Miggy tried to play him in. Awful touch by Fies, and then he brings down Longstaff, and somehow that is not a free kick. That is bizarre. I mean, the referee has made some absolutely unbelievable decisions to keep this game going. I mean, clear fouls. And he certainly kept his card in his pocket as well, as Brighton have gone 3-0 up now at Southampton. It's all going wrong for Southampton this afternoon. 2 red cards for Crystal Palace. Dear me, it's all happening. Vardy can't keep the ball there. Good work from Willock. Willock then strides away from Samara. Plays a lovely ball down the line to Joe Linton. Joe Linton now. Oh, the ball flicked back off his heel and he ended up losing the ball. Tielemans now plays a long ball, but there is Fabian Schär. Look at the way he just chests that down and bursts forward. Fabian Schär. It's a brilliant run by the Newcastle defender, and eventually runs into the back of Amati. But that was just bloody quality from Fabian Schär. Just took the ball down and says, right, I'm away. And he goes on one of those marauding runs down the pitch. It's just absolutely brilliant to watch, man. It really is. I've never been so relaxed watching Newcastle, says Rich. Absolutely. Normally, if Newcastle were 3-0 up in previous years, we'd be thinking, oh, God, let's just blow that full-time whistle. But it's such such fantastic football to watch. Guys, please do hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please become part of the community by hitting that subscribe button. You won't regret it. It's on the way to 16,000 subscribers as Leicester threaten their ball in from Vardy. It's Dewsbury Hall on the left-hand side. Cross comes in. It's headed away brilliantly by Fabian Schär. I mean, that is superb defending. That, again, threatened with injury going in for a header like that, but a wonderful, wonderful defensive play again. Now the ball is with Fies again. He rolls it across to Amate. Leicester trying to turn the screw here, but Newcastle won't mind that because we can hit them on the break. We know we've got the players to hit them on the break. Castagnier now down the right-hand side. Inside to Perez. Perez plays a lovely 1-2. Castagnier's in a lot of space now into the Newcastle box. Plays it across looking for Barnes. And it's wonderful defending again. And it goes for a corner to Leicester City. Bruno back there helping out to clear the ball. Just what you want from Bruno as well. Tracking the ball back. And a brilliant, brilliant bit of defending to clear the ball. But Leicester do have a corner. So danger is still not gone. Headed away by Newcastle United. A huge mound of players falling all over each other in the box. Dewsbury Hall now out to the left-hand side. He's going to whip across in here. Nick Pope's come off his line, then decides to go back. Headed down, and Dan Burn is there to absolutely launch one into space. And Newcastle, great turn by Perez to get rid of Miggy there. Perez will try and cross it in. It's not a great cross, but Vardy wins a header, and it's bouncing around. Harvey Barnes trying to get a shot in, and he's... Oh, and so we could have gone for an own goal. It was desperate defending. And Dan Burn has a chuckle to himself, but that could have been an own goal. Oh, my word. That's the first time we've really been at 6s and 7s there. Vardy beats Schär to the ball, and then Harvey Barnes, that looked like a handball, to be fair. But Harvey Barnes did really well. Botman then kicked it off the shins of Dan Burn, and it went wide. Corner to Leicester, cleared away, which is happy for us. Edward Gorn, thank you very much for another 200 yen. Really do appreciate that. And your continued support of the channel, my friend. Again, do hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, as Chris Wood chases down Danny Ward, who launches one up the field, but that's just going to come nicely for Nick Pope, and he's going to let Vardy come to him. Picks the ball up and throws it straight out to Sven Botman. Botman up the line now to Dan Burn. Burn goes back to Botman. He's got Vardy for company, but just coolly plays it back to Nick Pope. Pope, again, will not be rushed. He's got Trippier in support, but he decides to go along. Played a nice ball there for Chris Wood, but Wood couldn't control it and comes out now to Dewsbury Hall, who's probably been Leicester's most standout player after seeing this game, Dewsbury Hall. He's had a good game. But Leicester being forced back now to Amate, back into Samare, back to Fies. This will not do Leicester, but that's a long ball forward again, which Nick Pope will just see out for a goal kick. You know, that's what we're doing. We're holding Leicester off. They're playing it around the back. Then they've got no choice but to try the long ball, and the long ball comes across, and we comfortably deal with it. It's what we've been doing all game. Is Callum Wilson hurt, or how just decided for Wood? No, he has an illness. So he should be back for the Leeds game on New Year's Eve, I should say. So his holiest one is going to take this corner, this goal kick for Newcastle United. And again, out to the right-hand side where Trippier tries to win and floats over his head, though. And now Harvey Barnes to Dewsbury Hall. But he's got Fabian Schär to deal with, and Schär wins the ball through into Leicester. They are giving it a go, Leicester, but you'd expect that. They've got to. They're 3-0 down at home in the Premier League. They've got to come out of something. But again, they haven't had a real shot to talk about that Nick Pope's had to make a save from. So we can just hope as Newcastle fans it stays like that for the rest of the game. Bruno now closing down Danny Ward. Longstaff touch to Miggy. Miggy all the way back to Kieran Trippier. Trippier looks for support. Gets it from Sean Longstaff. Longstaff back to Trippier. Trippier floats one over the top for Miggy. It's beautiful football. Miggy now running at Fies. He's got a run from Longstaff again, but he just overhit it. Or Longstaff's just not quick enough to get there. Miggy's frustrated, to be fair. That's about the 4th time he's done that in this game. And Longstaff hasn't got the ball. It's really frustrating. Longstaff's making the correct run, but he just hasn't got what it takes to get on the end of it. Frustrating. How much do you think we will spend in January, says Physics? God knows. They'll spend what they need to spend, is what I've always said. I don't believe anybody saying that Newcastle are going to spend this, they're going to spend that. They'll spend what they need to, or on the right players. They won't be pushed into making silly signings again, or clubs asking for really ridiculous money. They're not going to do that. But what they will do is they'll try and get the best players that are going to improve this side and improve the squad. And certainly James Maddison is one of those players that would certainly do that, without a doubt. So we'll see what happens when the window opens. But at the minute, we're coming into 65 minutes, and Newcastle United 3-0 up here at the King Power in Leicester. Goals from Chris Wood, Miggy Almiron, and Joe Linton. It was a wonderful first half, it has to be said. Second half, we are still going at Leicester, but we're not sort of going at 110 mile an hour trying to get goals, because there's simply no need to. We just see the game out and make sure that we don't do anything silly to lose out on the 3 points. Long ball over the top again, looking for Josi Perez. Nick Pope has come a long way, and we'll see the ball out for a goal kick to Newcastle. Great play from Nick Pope there. Perez putting pressure on him, but he sees the ball out for a goal kick. And that's, again, something that's going to be very frustrating for Leicester City. That's what they've been having to do a lot in this game is, they're passing it around in the middle, and then they've got to go long because they've got nowhere else to go. And it's not happening for them. But those Newcastle fans, they're just absolutely loving their day out in Leicester on Boxing Day. They've seen a fantastic performance from Newcastle so far. And hopefully that will continue for the next 25 minutes. Fabian Schär takes a goal kick, which clips the back of Botman, but eventually goes to Dan Burn. Could have been a lot worse, that. Castagna steps up to Joe Linton and wins the throw-in for Leicester City. But again, Newcastle nice and compact. Tyndale and Howe on the line there, just barking out instructions as they always do, practically for the full game. And that's good play by Joe Linton to win it back. Here's Willock. Inside now to Bruno. Bruno's got a lot of options here. Nobody really closing them down. He rolls it to Trippier. Again, Trippier this time, I'm not sure where the hell that was supposed to go, but it went straight to Yuri Tielemans, and the move is dead. That was poor from Kieran Trippier. He's not normally like that. But anyway, Amate has the ball now. Edward, thank you for another 200 yen. Said, come on, give to Newcastle. Yeah. Let's keep this going. Tielemans for Leicester City now. Goes down the line for Vardy. It's a good ball to Jamie Vardy, but stands off, and eventually the offside flag goes up and calms down. Kieran Trippier then barking out where he thought he was supposed to put that ball, but it didn't go there. It's a good decision by the linesman because Vardy is indeed offside. Paul, you should do watch-alongs for other teams. Well, Jimmy, I don't know. I mean, are people interested in doing watch-alongs for other teams? I don't know. But thank you. Forget we even had Dummett and Richie. Yeah, we do. Whether we'll see them in this game or not, I don't know. Certainly no sign of Newcastle making a change yet. Long ball again played up towards Chris Wood. Brought down by Tielemans, but he can't get round Bruno. Bruno now steps forward. He's got support from Joe Willock. He plays a lovely ball for Joe Willock now on the left-hand side. Willock plays the ball across with his right foot, and it's bounced away for a corner to Newcastle. But that, again, Willock should have done better with that cross. He had loads of time there to pick a man out. And Amati did well. Joe Willock looks like he's feeling the pace a little bit, but then again, he looks like that from minute one, to be honest. But again, no sign of Newcastle making a change as Trippier's going to whip this corner in again. Paul, if we sell Paul Dummett, Matt Ritchie, and Ryan Fraser, how much would you reckon they're worth? Christ, I think we'd be lucky to get 10 for all three, to be honest. I don't think we could expect much money for Dummett, Ritchie, and Fraser at all, to be honest. Not at all. But anyway, Kieran Trippier, in comes the corner again. Oh, just avoided Sven Botman. It's come loose to Miggy, and his left foot shot is deflected. Bruno now, back out to Miggy. Bruno. He's got Samare all over him there. And how is that not a free kick? It is, says the referee. Well, I think he was more reliant on his linesman there. But Samaria was all over Bruno. and undoubtedly pulled him back there. But Miggy coming onto that with his left foot there from the corner. You thought, go on, son, nestle in the top corner. But unfortunately, it didn't. It was just over Botman's head, to be honest, because I think if Botman had got a header on that, it was 4-0. But it just a couple of centimetres too high. But we've got a free kick in another good position here, which once again, Kieran Trippier is going to take. We've got some good height in there. Some really, really good height in this penalty area. So certainly some big opportunities for Newcastle United. Here's the free kick from Trippier. It's a bloody good one as well. And it's headed over the bar for a corner. That was a brilliant free kick from Kieran Trippier. Once again, the pressure right on the left, the Leicester defender. And Castagnier headed it over the bar. Did really well, actually, because he was under pressure from Chris Wood. And maintained his composure there to make sure that he didn't head it in his own net. Because we've seen that happen many, many times before. But Newcastle have yet another corner. And a pinning Leicester back a little bit again here. And, of course, the more this happens, the more time comes off the clock. Trippier's corner, again, right into the middle. Oh, it came to Joe Willock, and he didn't catch it properly. Came to Willock on the edge of the box. He tried the half volley, but kind of mishit it. And Danny Ward down to make the save at his right-hand side. Long ball again played through from Leicester, but once again, comfortably dealt with, this time by Sean Longstaff, coming back to help out as Fabian Schär was still upfield. But nothing happens from that. And it's played out for a Leicester throw-in. But Leicester are going to make a couple of changes now. They've got to. They've got to throw everything at this now. And Harvey Barnes is one of the players that's coming off as he's replaced by Iheanacho. Iheanacho, well, sometimes he's up there, sometimes he isn't. Samara is obviously also coming off for Leicester City, and he's going to be replaced by Wilfred Ndidi. No sign of any changes from Newcastle United at the moment. And I'm sure we will if the team needs to see that. But Leicester City are now throwing everything to the cause now. They've got to. They've got no choice, but that will free up some, well, definite space. The more Leicester push, Newcastle United can catch them on the break. 3 goals to the good Newcastle, and certainly Newcastle United won't be panicking here. But remember, we do have Maxi on the bench, and Maxi is a good outlet if we need to just clear the ball up and let Maxi run with the ball, a.k.a. Steve Bruce style. We know his tactics will like give Maxi the ball and run, but he is a good outlet. There's no doubt about that for the last sort of 10, 15 minutes of the game, hopefully, depending on how fit he is. But certainly there's no indication of any changes yet for the Toon Army. Throwing out to Dan Burn on the left-hand side, skips back inside and rolls it down to Sven Botman. Botman is closed down by, what a ball that is, on his right foot, by the way, right out to Trippier. Trippier half volley down to Longstaff. That's a handball. But the referee says, no, we play on. Ndidi now for Leicester, plays it inside to Jose Perez. Perez has got Iheanacho, but brilliant play by Dan Burns stepping up, tried to do a little bit too much though, as did Bruno, but Newcastle get away with it there. Joe Linton just getting a little bit sloppy there, Newcastle. A couple of occasions where Burn and Bruno tried to do too much on the ball, where they had 3 Leicester players around them. Just get rid of it. Ball down the line by Amate. Tielemans inside now to Perez, back to Castagnier. Castagnier breaks forward to Iheanacho now. Iheanacho has got Joe Linton in defence to face, and it goes out for a Leicester throw-in. Tielemans quickly grabs a ball and throws it back in the play. Amate now for Leicester. Willock pressing again. Leicester doing well this time. Ndidi, nice ball out to Castagnier on the right-hand side. He's got Dan Burn for company, but he has to pull it back inside now to Ndidi. Ndidi goes to Fies. Leicester starting to ask a few questions. Fies goes for the big boomer. It doesn't go anywhere, and Miggy then just sort of plays it gently away. Not really the best clearance in the world from Miggy Almiron, and Leicester continue the pressure with Fies. He goes back to Amate now. Amate steps up, creates a little bit of extra space. Castagnier now on the right-hand side. Castagnier cuts inside into Iheanacho. Iheanacho may well pull the trigger. He does, but it's high and wide. And Newcastle United can deal with that every single day of the week, by the way. Janjo Shelvey set to be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's a huge blow for him. Of course, just coming back from such a lengthy layoff. Isak will be back soon, says Top G. Personally, can't wait for him at full fitness. Unknown says, I'm going to the Newcastle and Leicester quarter-final. Yeah, and if we play like this, we will be in the semi-finals. No doubt about it. Leicester will probably play a decent side as well because, you know, they're not going to make Europe or anything in the Premier League by the looks of things. So why not try and win the Carabao? Share plays it forward, looking for the run of Joe Willock. Willock goes after it. Danny Ward is way out his box. Takes a left foot punt at it. Trippier's under the ball. Vardy flicks it on. There's nobody there. Botman to Share. Share. Brilliant little backflip to Trippier. And then Trippier goes all the way to the left to Big Dan Burn. Brilliant play from the Newcastle defensive line there to clear the ball. Wood to Joe Linton. Joe Linton, again, used that huge frame, but it loses the ball there. He's had a good game, Joe Linton, but he's just looking a little bit tired now. And I think, you know, changes should start happening for Newcastle United. There is some tired legs out there. Played forward for Iheanacho again. He's certainly got the pace to have a run at them. It's out to the right to Jose Perez now. Perez, well, he tried to go down the line for, it was Castagnet down the line for Perez. Good defending again from Newcastle. And Bruno is going to keep that in from going for a corner and plays it right off Perez for a goal kick. That is quality and experience all in the same way there, guys. Just fabulous stuff from Bruno. No panic in that at all. He says, right, I'm just going to kick it off your shins and let it go for a goal kick. But Leicester certainly pressing us back the last few minutes. But they've got to. I've said many times during this commentary, they've got to press us. And if they don't, then they've got nothing really because they've got to do something about it. But there's a stoppage in play. I'm not sure what's going on. A little conversation going on between... Joe Linton's down, that's why. This is without some key players in Shelvey, Isak, Wilson, and of course, absolutely, those three players. And of course, ASM as well. Leicester will probably keep hold of Maddison until after the cup game. Well, the cup game doesn't matter because either way, he's played in the cup already for Leicester, so he'd be cup tied. So forget about that one. He's cup tied for that. He wouldn't be able to play, so it doesn't really matter. But Joe Linton has his usual couple of minutes rest in the second half just to let Newcastle regroup. And that's what it's all about. You know, when he goes down like that, he's not always injured, remember. Little bit of cramp there, get the trainer on, just take the sting out of the Leicester City attacks as they try and press for a goal back in the game. Anyway, Miggy down to Trippier. Trippier plays long and high. Willock wins the header, trying to flick that on, but Leicester deal with it. And it's with goalkeeper Danny Ward, who you would think at some point has to start going long with these instead of playing it out all the time. But Newcastle getting back into shape very quickly, as I think we're going to see Maxi. No, he's gone back to do another warm-up, so not quite just yet. The ball is back with Amate now for Leicester City, deep in his own half. Rolls it back to Danny Ward. Again, not much pressure on him this time because Newcastle just getting back into shape, making sure that Leicester don't get any opportunities. Again, really, Chris Wood is yet to make a... Chris Wood. Nick Pope is yet to make a save. He made one from Daka in the first half, of course. It sort of rebounded off him and Botman cleared it. But there's been no clear-cut shots on goal that I can remember for Leicester City that have forced Nick Pope into a save. And that'll be the disappointing thing for Brendan Rodgers, given that they went 2-0 down so early. They've offered very little to try and get back in the game. But here's Joe Linton now on the left, cuts inside Castagnet. Brilliant from Joe Linton to hold on to the ball. Rolls it into Bruno. Bruno is taken out. Free kick to Newcastle. And that infuriates the Castagnet, but it was a free kick. Hopefully Kraft is closer to full fitness. He won't be back by the end of the season, Jack. I think he's out for the whole season. Maddie, we want you. Come to the Toon and you can be a god and love it. Yeah, he could be part of something very special. There's no doubt about that. Here's Miggy now on the right-hand side. Good overlap and run from Trippier, but Miggy cuts inside. It's a poor ball. Chris Wood didn't really give him much option there, but it's just defended, and Danny Ward has it again. Freudian slip, Paul. Wood is going to be reimagined as a goalkeeper. Why not? Why not? Good work again from Bruno, closing down Dewsbury Hall, forcing the ball out for a throw-in to Leicester City. It's been a pivotal point of the game again for Bruno. He's been very, very... look at that. Wins the tackle and then screams, come on, to the Newcastle fans. You just love him, don't you? He's taken to this club magnificently, and we've taken to him, and rightly so. It's been a joy to watch him at stages, and Just his all-round passion for the club there. You know, and we're 3-0 up. He wins a tackle like that, and then he screams, "Come on!" to the Newcastle fans. Absolutely superb. Great that our squad can handle issues. It's like the entertainers missing Janola, Shearer, and Batty, but we manage it better these days. Yep, we do. No question about that. And up goes Sven Botman to win a header. It's completely knocked. I think that's Castagnier down on the floor as Leicester attack now down the left-hand side. Thomas tries to get across and it rebounds loose. Miggy needs to be stronger there. Comes to Dewsbury Hall. Not sure whether Castagnier's back on his feet yet after being absolutely clattered by Sven Botman, but he won the header. Well, that's what Botman's all around. It's like hitting the tank. I wouldn't like to run at the side of Sven Botman in the air. That's a certainty. Anyway, Dewsbury Hall has it now. Goes out to Tielemans. Tielemans has Castagnier back on his feet now in support. Just over 10 minutes left, guys, in normal time. And then, of course, however much time he adds on for injury. But we are cruising, it is fair to say. Samaria now back to Fies. Fies for Leicester steps into Newcastle's half. Goes right to Castagnier. Nods it down to Iheanacho. Iheanacho leaves it for Perez. This is good from Leicester. But Perez quickly closed down by Bruno. The ball comes in. Iheanacho's header. And no need for Nick Pope to even try and save that as it rolls out for a goal kick. I'm not sure what Iheanacho is calling for a corner for. That's not going to happen, Paul. But a good move from Leicester. Probably the best one of the game. Good work from Perez. He's miles offside, actually. That's why. He was absolutely yards and yards offside. But again, good defender from Newcastle, stepping up and forcing Leicester into a mistake. But the try in Leicester, the knocking on the door, but unfortunately nobody's home at the moment. And Newcastle United just keeping them out and doing what they have to do. And there must be some Leicester fans leaving because Newcastle fans are waving toodaloo. And it's nice to do that, to be honest, because the Leicester fans did exactly the same to us when they pumped us 4-0. So, yeah. Who's laughing now? Leicester City. Tielemans now plays a lovely ball out to Dewsbury Hall in a little bit of space on the left-hand side. But again, Fabian Schär reading the game so well as he normally does. And, he's trying to maraud forward again, Fabian Schär, but he's jogging back into position now. Iheanacho to Tielemans. Tielemans inside to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall looking for some sort of attacking momentum for Leicester. Goes back to Fies, into Tielemans, to Ndidi. Now out to, I believe, Iheanacho. So Iheanacho pulls it back to Tielemans, to Iheanacho. They're not getting anywhere, Leicester. And Newcastle will be happy letting them do this. Just these little one touches. They're not doing anything to hurt us. Fies now brings it forward out to the left-hand side where Thomas, the left-back, is. All the way back to Fies. Newcastle just continuing to frustrate Leicester. Just not allowing them anything. And again, they have to go along with Fies looking for Iheanacho. It is Iheanacho. And, it's a little slip from Schär. And the shot from Dewsbury Hall was a weak one on his, probably his wrong foot there, on his right foot. And it bounces into the arms of Nick Pope without him having to make a dive. But again, good work from Leicester. That they've got a little bit of a they can play a little bit different now with having Iheanacho on the field as well to put the balls into the box. Tielemans now, great header by Fabian Schär to clear it, and that's going to roll out for a throw into Leicester City on the left hand side. As Newcastle are going to make changes, Murphy and Maxi are coming on, and the first one to come off is Miggy Almiron, who's had a wonderful game. He really has, but I think Maxi's coming on to maybe make a difference to bring the ball out and go on one of his marauding runs. Miggy wants to go off the field, but the referee is telling him that he's got to go off there and walk around the pitch. I'm not so sure whether that's the right idea when you're away from home, to be fair. But anyway, Miggy applauds the Newcastle fans, and he's got to walk right around the football ground now. So no doubt he'll get plenty of abuse, but he'll be used to that, to be honest. He'll just walk around and forget it. And Joe Willock comes off now for Jacob Murphy. So on the pitch comes Murphy and Maxi, and some fresh legs on the pitch now for Newcastle United. We're looking a bit tired. Great substitute, said Kendo. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no Look, we're cruising, but a couple of fresh legs on the pitch will do us the world of good, I think, especially those fresh legs being Murphy and Maxi, who will come on the right and left now and give us a different option, certainly breaking forward. And Miggy's changed direction now and decided to walk past the Newcastle fans, as you'd expect him to, and he's getting an absolute raucous applause from the Newcastle fans. Another goal for him today. He's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely superb. Took his goal. Just what a gem of a goal it was. And it's one of those that we've been used to seeing go in the back of the net this season with some lovely football, lovely build-up and cool, calm finishing from Mr. Almiron, as we've seen again today. Tielemans has the ball now for Leicester City to Thomas. Thomas will go forward looking for the run of. It's a great ball. Almost on the end of it was Jamie Vardy, and he appreciates the ball played over, but it's into the arms of Nick Pope, and he quickly gets on with it. Dan Burn down the left-hand side now for Newcastle United into Maxi. Tries a little flick to Chris Wood. It doesn't quite come off, and Leicester City have the ball again. Again, though, Newcastle just drop back into position, and indeed, has to go straight to Castagnier, back to Tielemans, across to Fies. Newcastle just letting Leicester have the ball here. There's no doubt what Newcastle's game plan is now, is just to see the game out, force Leicester to go long eventually, keep them closed down, keep a discipline formation, and we'll see the game out. Castagnier on the right-hand side now for Leicester. Iheanacho rolls it back to Amate. Amate to Tielemans. Again, Tielemans looks, but there's nothing available. Fies now getting shut down by Jacob Murphy. Good closing down by the Newcastle forward. And they have to go back to Danny Ward. And that'll frustrate the fans. That'll frustrate the players even more here. Ndidi back to Amate. Amate to the right-hand side now to Castagnier. To Tielemans, who is getting a lot of the ball, but nothing happening for him. As Leicester try and come forward now. Referee waves play on. Castagnier on the right-hand side. Perez into Iheanacho. Iheanacho has to turn. Perez. Good standing up again from Joe Linton to win the ball. Maxi tries to break away, but loses it. Now the ball is played left towards Thomas. It's right by the touchline now. It's a little bit overhit, that pass. Dewsbury Hall back to Fies. And it says something when Leicester are having the majority of the ball in the last few minutes of the game, but it's always the back line. Castagnier now gets a chance to cross. It's hammered away by Sven Botman. And indeed, he takes a volley, and it was a brilliant volley as well, from around 30 yards, but straight at Nick Pope. But that was better from Leicester. And indeed, he just decided, I'm had enough of this. I'm having a crack. And it was a well-hit volley. And Nick Pope again in the perfect position, but we've lost the ball again. We're getting a little bit sloppy now, last few minutes of the game. Perez, chance to shoot, blocked really well by Sven Botman. And it comes back to Tielemans, to Iheanacho now. Cuts inside. Iheanacho, good ball in towards Vardy! And it's a brilliant save from Nick Pope. Oh, wow. It's going to be a corner for Leicester, but I think it's offside, actually. But there you go. Nick Pope didn't know it was offside. Yeah, he is. He's clear. He's a mile offside, but there you go. But Nick Pope didn't know that, and again stretches his leg out and makes an absolute brilliant save. So there you go. Over 800 watching at the minute, guys. Thank you so much for your support and for joining me on the watch along today. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock, we will have the match review as Matt Ritchie is preparing to come on. We'll have the full match review where we'll talk about the game and obviously give you our player ratings as well. And so we do obviously want you to join and give your opinion on the player ratings as well. So join us 8 o'clock for that show. We'll see you then. Matt Ritchie is coming on for Chris Wood. So I think Maxi will go into the middle and Ritchie will just stay on the left. Good to see Matt Ritchie on for a few minutes. Chris Wood's done all right today. He's worked his arse off again. You can't ask for more. Scored a cracking penalty to set us on our way after a couple of minutes. And everything is rosy in the meadow at the moment for Newcastle. As Pope goes long. Header won by Ndidi. Joe Linton is up there. But again, Newcastle not pressing Leicester in their own half anymore. They're quite happy just to see the rest of this game out. And we're in the last couple of minutes of normal time now. And then, of course, however much time the referee wants to add on for injury time. Indeed, he plays a nice ball out to Thomas on the left-hand side. Thomas brings it back down. I mean, this second half has kind of gone the way we expected. Newcastle were dominating, and then they've sort of just reverted to just seeing the game out now instead of, pressing too much. Bruno Guimaraes has been given player of the match by Amazon. I don't think I can really argue with that. I think he's been excellent in the middle again for Newcastle, as Danny Ward kicks the ball straight out of play. And that just sums up Leicester City's afternoon, in my opinion. But there you go. It is still 3-0. Eddie's Mags once again proving to everybody that they're not just going to go away. They are the real deal this season. And, of course, the next game coming up is Leeds United on Sorry, why do I keep saying Boxing Day? Leeds United on New Year's Eve. Give me head a wobble. So, they'll be looking to win that game as well. And then, of course, some of the sides around them at the top, which should be interesting, including Arsenal away, which is going to be a cracking game. But here are Leicester now working hard, trying to get some sort of consolation back. And here they come down the right with Castagnier to Iheanacho now. Iheanacho, midway through the Newcastle United half, has to cut back. Again, looking up and thinking, who is that they give the ball to? The black and white shirts just so disciplined in defence. Thomas now on the left-hand side for Leicester. Again, he's having to turn back and give the ball to his centre-back Fies into Ndidi. Ndidi looks up and finds a good ball down the left-hand side of Dewsbury Hall. Can they get a ball in? We're into injury time now. I'm not sure how much the referee has added on, to be honest. It's not coming up on the screen at the minute. I guess they will tell us in due course. Fies now back to Amate. 3 minutes of added time, so not a great deal of time left for Leicester to try and get a consolation, because that's all it would be now. Newcastle United are going to take the 3 points. It's whether they can hang on for a clean sheet. And Bruno now bursting forward for Newcastle United. It's a great run by Murphy, but I think he's offside. He's took the keeper on and he's put the ball wide. I don't know whether a flag's gone up. If it hasn't, it isn't. And that was a big chance for Murphy to make it 4. I thought he's miles offside. Well, there's no doubt, in my opinion, VAR would have pulled that back anyway. Good defending by Fies on the goal line. Great run by Murphy. Yes, the flag did go up, actually. I do apologise to the linesman. He was miles offside anyway. Fies not very happy with his defenders, as Elliot Anderson is going to make an appearance for the Toon for the last couple of minutes of injury time for Sean Longstaff, who looks absolutely haggard. He's worked his arse off again, Sean. He's lost the ball a couple of times, but he's also worked his arse off and won the ball back a lot of times today for Sean. Not his best game, but not his worst game. And he's done well, certainly second half, defensively wise when he's needed. When Leicester has started to press, he's done okay. So well done, Sean. And Elliot Anderson now is on for the last couple of minutes of injury time as Fabian Schär wins the ball. Anderson then wins the ball in the air, played over the top. Vardy on it again, but look how far Nick Pope's off his line to grab the ball. It must be frustrating when you're a forward. You see the ball coming over like that and your eyes light up thinking you're through on goal. And then you look up and you see the opposition goalkeeper right in front of you, just collecting the ball as if it's nothing. Really superb stuff from Nick Pope. And he goes long looking for Joe Linton. Joe Linton backed out of that. No need to make a challenge there. Fabian Schär just coolly knocks it down to Jacob Murphy. Murphy's got Trippier making a run, but Murphy says, right, I'm going to have a run at this. Out to Maxi. Maxi now, who hasn't had much touches of the ball since coming on, so we want to hang on to this for a while. Lays it off to Joe Linton. Joe Linton has got Matt Ritchie in support. He in turn steps inside, gives it back to Joe Linton. Joe Linton's got Bruno, but he decides to go back to Sven Botman. Just seeing this game out, Newcastle United now. Joe Linton. It'd be lovely if we can get a fourth, though, wouldn't it? Maxi now to Bruno. Bruno out to Murphy. That's a great ball. Murphy, I thought he might have hit that, but he didn't. Cuts back on his left foot. He's got about 10 Leicester players around him, but he still holds on to the ball. Jacob Murphy. And then plays the ball through. It's not a great one. I don't know where Murphy was going there. I thought he might have hit that first time. He didn't. And it ended up being about 10 Leicester players around him. But that's it, guys. The referee blows the whistle, and Eddie's Mags just march on. It's brilliant stuff. It's a 3-0 win. And I think Brendan was saying good luck for the rest of the season there to to Mr. Howe. It's an absolute drubbing of Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. Newcastle on top, pretty much from the word go. Leicester had little bits and bobs, certainly a lot of possession in the last 20 minutes, but you'd expect that. They were 3-0 down at home, and you look around the King Power, it's pretty much empty now. But what a win for Newcastle. I mean, honestly, just astounding win. They keep going from strength to strength, these guys. It's another clean sheet. It's 3 goals. We killed the game off in the first half. We could have added a couple more in the second. It wasn't to be, but here, are you bothered? No. It's 3 points, and it's a wonderful 3 points. And once again, we march on. Second in the table now, obviously, until other games are played. But what a confidence boost for the lads. And certainly going into the game on New Year's Eve against Leeds, again, the morale will be right up there. The positivity right up there. It's just incredible. It really is. And, we haven't had the best of time at the King Power Stadium in recent games, apart from obviously when we beat them during lockdown, of course, when there was no fans in the ground. But to actually have fans in the ground today and give those Newcastle United travelling army, in which there's thousands down there again, an absolute brilliant performance. And it just gets better and better, guys. It really does. It's one of those where you just love being a Newcastle United fan at the minute. It's absolutely fabulous to watch. As they go over to the Newcastle United fans now, and they've all stayed to applaud their team, and the team come right over, just standing applauding them. And it just completely different feeling. We know what it's like sometimes down at Leicester, where the players have come across and they've been heckled and things like that under previous regimes. But now this is just a different Newcastle United. This is a Newcastle United that is playing some joyous football, some wonderful stuff to watch. And we just march on. We keep marching on. Even before this game, we were saying, oh God, Wilson's out with an illness. Maxi's on the bench. It's worrying. But, the guys on the pitch, once again, go out and do an absolutely unbelievable job. Winning the penalty so early, Chris Wood smashing it in the back of the net. Then a brilliant, brilliant move involving Trippier, Miggy and Bruno. And then eventually Miggy just sticking it in the back of the net. Look at the smile on Joe Linton, man. How can you not love that bloke? And Miggy putting it in the back of the net. And then, of course, a wonderful header from Joe Linton from Trippier's corner. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And nice to see Miggy giving the shirt away to one of the disabled supporters. And now they're all coming over to give the shirts away. Absolutely incredible connection between the fans and the players here at Newcastle United. There is no doubt about it. Crowtails, thank you for your £2.49 super sticker. Let's have a look at some of the comments before we go. Geordie Howe, man, so proud of this club. Longstaff was unreal today, says Lofty. Julie J, amazing win. Well done, lads. Great work. Indeed, it certainly was. We're second until Man City play. We certainly are. Paul James says superb result. And obviously, Dan's shouting for West Ham today. Results in the Premier League. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, Palace 0, Fulham 3. Palace were down to 9 men. Everton 1, Wolves 2. Wow. Wow. Leicester 0, Newcastle 3, and Southampton 1, Brighton 3. Games to come: Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal, West Ham at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Chelsea, Bournemouth, Man United, Nottingham Forest, and then Wednesday Leeds, Man City. So for a couple of days at least, we are in the top 2, which is wonderful. It really is, and it's just a joy. Just a joy. But we will be back tonight, guys, at 8 o'clock with the match review. We'll be going over the game and, of course, those all-important player ratings. So do join us for that. Take part in that as well. And thank you so much for spending the match with me, guys. I've really enjoyed that today. And, lots to talk about tonight. Lots of good stuff to talk about tonight again as we just continue our march up the table. Thank you to the mods for their great work backstage. Thank you to everybody that super chatted today. It really does mean a lot. But before you leave the stream, if you could just drop a like on it for us as well. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. We're on the way to 16,000 and you could be part of that. It is free to do so. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload. But as I say, we will be back 8 o'clock tonight with the review of yet another Newcastle United win. Goals for Chris Wood, for Miggy Almiron and Joe Linton as Eddie's Mags just continue to defy everybody and march on. How are the lads? See you later, guys.